Welcome to RFM Audio. This streaming audio broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. You are listening to RFM Audio on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. This broadcast will begin in 90 seconds. Welcome to RFM Audio. This streaming audio broadcast will begin in 1 minute. You are listening to RFM Audio on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. This broadcast will begin in 30 seconds. Welcome to RFM Audio. This streaming audio broadcast will begin in 10 seconds.
That sound means it's time for our countdown to kickoff. Week 5 of high school football all across Massachusetts tonight, and you have found your way to RFM Audio. Great to have you along with us for our countdown to kickoff. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ, and we're looking forward to bringing tonight's action to you, as tonight we have a battle of undefeated football teams, a clash between Central and Eastern Mass, as the Tanners of Peabody Veterans Memorial High School brings their 4-0 record onto home turf to play host to the 4-0 Leominster High School Blue Devils. The game will take place out at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Peabody, Massachusetts. We are located inside the studios of our partners at Leominster TV. More on that in our second half hour. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we welcome you to our live coverage tonight here on RFM Audio via YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. We also welcome our partners in delay, 95.1 FM, WLPZ, and WLPZ.org, and our partner Dick Tucker and Tucka56radio.com, TUCKA56radio.com. Great to have you along with us for Week 5 action in what is going to be an incredibly important matchup. As Bill Thomas has said a number of times, power ratings points bonanza. And that is what we are going to see here tonight for both teams. An incredibly important game as we kind of work our way just past the midway point. 8 weeks in the regular season. After week 8, you got to be top 16 in your division in order to qualify for the postseason. And this is a huge matchup for both teams tonight. We'll get into those power ratings coming up in a matter of moments, but first I welcome in my broadcast partner Bill Thomas. And Billy, here we go. Action between Leominster and Peabody coming up from Veterans Memorial Stadium in Peabody tonight. That coming up a little while from now. We'll get people ready with our countdown to kickoff here. Leominster and Peabody, this has been circled on the schedule since the schedule came out back in the middle of the summer. This is an important matchup. Everybody knows for Leominster, this is kind of their tip of the the cap to this new way of scheduling in the postseason. There is no way that you could possibly double, underline, emphasize more just how important Leominster's postseason lives on this action tonight.
Well, I think the way you've seen history play out with these power rankings, that you have to search around for new opponents. I'm not sure that everybody was looking forward to traveling to Peabody the way the season went last year when they were putting the schedule together. I think some people were shaking their heads, to be honest with you, before the season started. But by about week 2, you were definitely circling this game because you saw this coming. And both teams have entered this season just like a freight train running downhill. There's been no stopping either one of them on offense. Both teams averaging over 40 a game. On defense, they've both been just as dominant when they've been trying to stop the opposition. Each team, I think, has allowed a total of 20 or less points, averaging 3 or 4 points when you do the math, under a touchdown. When you spread it out. 11 straight shutout quarters for Leominster. And I haven't looked at PB's defensive stats, but they got to be pretty close. So, yeah, I mean, you talk about
2 shutouts as well, Bill Thomas, for Peabody.
A movable force against
irresistible
the
force meets the immovable
object. I think that's what somebody's going to move. And whichever team, it's not going to have to be much.
That's right.
And that, I think, is going to be a difference in the game tonight.
If you look at Peabody's schedule from this year, they were at home against Revere in week 1. It was a 40-0 shutout win on home turf. Then they traveled to Lynn Classical in week 2, a 35-8 win there. Then on the road at Beverly in week 3, another 40-0 victory and a shutout for their defense again. And then last week, week 4 action on the road at Marblehead, a 40-7 victory. And Bill Thomas,
common number right there.
Hand me that sheet and tell me if this doesn't sound
40,
familiar
44,
to you.
Yeah,
so Peabody has outscored their opponents 155-15 to this point. Meanwhile, we go to the other side of things and you go to Leominster. Week 1, a 48-6 victory on the road at Fitchburg. Week 2, a home victory, 42-0 against Doherty. Week 3, a 27-0 victory at home against Neshoba. And last week on the road in Dudley at Shepherd Hill, a 45-14 victory for Leominster. Leominster has outscored their opponents 162-20 through 4 weeks of action.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody that saw the Neshoba game would argue that Leominster probably could have had 3 more scores in that game. The second half became a turnover fest. I think they turned the ball over 3 out of their 4 possessions in the second half. But, yeah, both teams are just scoring with proficiency that's been unheard of, really, for especially with the freshman duo that the Leominster's putting on the field on the offensive side of the ball. And, just getting great contributions from everybody at all the skill positions and the support positions, too. Not that, we always joke about skill positions and glamour positions and who gets dirty and, who gets the spotlight. But, there's no downplaying whether you're a tackle, a guard, a tight end, a safety, or you're the quarterback or the wide receiver that's catching every touchdown pass. Every position is important, and I think that's how this Leominster team has been approaching the season. Everybody's really bought into their job, how big or how small it is, and it's really led to this early season success.
34 minutes, now make it 33 minutes to the top of the hour, and we have Leominster and Peabody for you right here on RFM Audio. And with our partners at Leominster TV, they'll join us coming up at the bottom of the hour for the second half of our abbreviated countdown to kickoff tonight for Leominster and Peabody coming up. Bill Thomas will take you with Kate Robbins into our marquee matchup and around the region as part of our second half hour as well. We will also hear from Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates from his Coach's Corner comments, as well as some addendums with keys to the game coming up later in our second half hour as well. We will also have the starting lineups and the updates to our starting lineups tonight for Leominster and Peabody. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. As we like to say, we enjoy breaking news, on this broadcast, and we will break news tonight coming up as we get closer and closer to kickoff, coming up nearer the top of the hour. Beyond that, we here inside the studio say hello to Kate Robbins from the Leominster studio here of Leominster TV. Back across town to RFM HQ, Kate Robbins standing by there. Kate, in a couple of minutes here, we're going to welcome in our audience from Leominster TV. But before we get there, we'll give you a chance for a first reaction to this one. Leominster and Peabody, you've heard Billy and I talking a little bit about this one and kind of setting the scene for what is a very important matchup for both teams. What's your top of the line, top fold headline for tonight?
I think you have this, as you guys talked about. You talked about the immovable force, meaning the immovable object. So it's going to be an interesting one. We hear explosive offenses for both teams tonight. So I think it's going to come down to which defense can really just execute properly.
And that, I think, has got a lot to do with where we are going to go with this one. Clearly, with the ability for both offenses to score seemingly at will throughout the year, the ability at the defensive side of the ball to stop them somehow, some way, whichever side you're on, you've got to at least stop one drive. If not, you've got to assume that your offense has got to score every single time you touch the football.
Well, and that's an interesting thing. And we've actually seen Leominster do this in previous matchups this year, where Leominster has been so efficient and so effective that essentially every single time they touch the ball on offense, they've been able to score. That puts an enormous amount of pressure on the opposing offense in order to be perfect as well. And so you have these two high-powered offenses. So I really do think it's going to be which team is able to be most efficient and most effective on offense, thereby putting an enormous amount of pressure on both defenses to perform as well. It's just going to be a night where I think that whoever blinks first is going to be on the losing end, unfortunately.
Indeed it will. We're counting you down. Coming up, 30 minutes to the top of the hour, we've got Leominster and Peabody for you here on RFM Audio and with our partners at Leominster TV. We're going to step aside here on our countdown to kickoff. Line up with our friends at Leominster TV, and when we come back, we welcome the whole audience together, and we count you down to kickoff for Leominster and Peabody coming up at the top of the hour. Stay with us. This is the countdown to kickoff on RFM Audio.
The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association is committed to good sportsmanship. Sportsmanship, citizenship, and responsibility are the trademarks of high school activities. Support school activities with your own display of good sportsmanship and help encourage America's youth to accept the responsibility which freedom demands. Support your local high school. See the future of America on display. Attend high school competitions in your community. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through educational athletics.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Massachusetts, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Tradition, legacy, history. These words all describe a player, coach, or contributor's impact on a game, program, or generation. Each week this season, student athletes of this generation will square off with the goal of best representing their community today or for years to come.
Neil O'Connor finds Jake Elaine.
For Alan Glennie, quarterbacks his ball club.
Delakiai's in the end zone.
And calling signals, Dave Palazzi.
John Ulecki.
Warren Muir.
LeQueer.
Jack Rodequins.
Bobby Mativier.
Jason Toomley.
Devin Gates.
Quentin Tiggs.
Cortez Ludden.
Lee Geronimo.
Stephanides.
Sean Dupuis. McDonald.
Graham.
Quentin Perkins. Geraldo Rivera.
Gray makes the catch in the end zone for the touchdown.
Who will have their name weaved among the tapestry of legends? Who can add their name among the football greatest in Central Massachusetts? You'll find out right here on RFM. Continuing a legacy and tradition of audio excellence established by generations of great play-by-play teams gone before.
Yours truly, Tom Connery, Dave Spence, and Warren Muir.
This is Joe White. With me this morning is Dickey and Ron Lamar.
Ed Coleman along with Joe DeCarolis and Mark Landon.
This is Dave Clark along with Mike Flynn.
I'm Dave Spence along with my partner Luke Connery.
Todd Robbins alongside Ben Parker.
Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us.
Stories told through the words spun by legends. The stories continue to be described by the award-winning team of today. It's time for high school football with the award-winning team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins.
And with with that, we say once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to high school football here on RFM Audio. And with our partners at Leominster TV, for the first time tonight, we say good evening to you as well. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas. Kate Robbins is back at RFM HQ. She'll check in with us as we go through the next half hour as we welcome you to our countdown to kickoff. Tonight, Leominster is on the road. They take their 4-0 undefeated record east to a power of Eastern Mass, Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, on the campus of Peabody Veterans Memorial High School tonight as the Tanners bring their 4-0 record to home turf and get set to host the Blue Devils. The Blue Devils and the Tanners coming up in a battle of undefeated teams in Division II. Huge night for power ratings, and of course, you're sitting there going, wow, that's a funny looking stadium that Todd and Bill Thomas are in tonight. And nope, for those of you that are eagle-eyed viewers of Leominster TV, we are inside the studios of Leominster TV tonight, where we say good evening to you. As we get closer and closer to kickoff, we'll bring you up to speed on our current situation, but we are inside the studio of Leominster TV tonight. We will have Leominster and Peabody for you, thanks to our new partners and friends, courtesy of Peabody TV. We will have that video from Peabody Veterans Memorial Stadium coming up at the top of the hour. In the meantime, it's countdown to kickoff, and you get to look at Bill Thomas and I. We will walk you through the preparations for this one. We'll hear from Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates. We'll also have an opportunity to get his keys to victory tonight. We've got some major developments in the starting lineup tonight. We'll have the posted starting lineup, and then we will have those developments of the last couple of hours. We'll bring those to you in this second half hour as we count you down to kickoff as well. You're not going to want to miss that. It's going to have implications on tonight's action. So stay tuned for that. Great to have you along with us, whether you're joining us on RFM Audio via YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch, or with our partners at Leominster TV, joining us on the channels of Comcast, Verizon, or Leominster.tv. We thank them so very much. Bradley Bedard is back at Master Control here, pushing the buttons and making the magic happen tonight. We thank the great folks here at Leominster TV being willing to kind of bring us inside their studio tonight and be able to provide you this play-by-play across all of our platforms, including those of them joining us in delay, 95.1 FM, WLPZ, and WLPZ.org, as well as Tucka 56 Radio and Tucka56Radio.com. That covers all of the particulars. And Bill Thomas, here we go. 4-0 Leominster, 4-0 Peabody. Going to be a major matchup here. And some of these developments could play into just how close this action is tonight.
Yeah, thank God for there's a lot of weapons on both sides of the field, and we'll have to see how the developments play out come game time. You know, I'm not going to spill the beans yet. I'm going to let you break the news and explain what's going on a little bit. But I'm still expecting a great game nonetheless. I don't think the news that of what's transpired the last 24 hours is going to dampen the game, the spirit of the game. There's plenty of skilled players on both sides, and it might even rally Leominster behind a teammate that's not going to be on the field tonight. So we'll see how that plays out.
Indeed, we will. Kate Robbins is back at RFM HQ standing by. And Kate, we're going to turn to our marquee matchup. We'll give you an opportunity to walk Bill Thomas through this one like you typically would. This marquee matchup is incredibly important, and it's become that much more important as we look through some of the changes that will happen tonight.
Yes, Todd, thank you. So for those in Leominster not necessarily familiar with Peabody's brand of football, this year, much like Leominster, they have an amazingly talented offense. So you have two vaunted offenses looking to go up and down the field against one another. Offensive fireworks are likely on both sides. It leaves one to wonder which defense can stiffen its back and thwart a drive or perhaps two. A shutout is unlikely for either defense, but the defense that can pitch blank on multiple drives will be the team best positioned to win this. So look for both offenses to be moving vertically down the field, both of them multidimensional. They've got a litany of weapons, both in their passing game and in their rushing attack. So it'll be very interesting to see who is able to keep up with the other offense.
Indeed, it will be. Kate and Bill Thomas, I'll give you a chance to react to that marquee matchup.
Yeah, I mean, really, Kate says it all. You know, it's going to be really how the offenses are going to match up each time they take the field. And, it could be a one-stop game. And, and I don't want to use the cliche. We use this way too much and way too often. But whoever possesses the ball last might score the points and end up winning the game. And but both teams are. I watched the game against Revere. I believe it's the only home game they've had up to this point. So there'll be a big crowd there tonight at PB. It'll be this. They've been on the road the last 3 weeks, but I thought I was seeing a mirror image of Leominster's offense when they were on the field. They're big at all the positions that you want to be big at. They have experience, and they showed how to move the ball up and down the field with a quick strike offense.
Indeed, they have. And it's interesting when you look at the numbers between these two schools. Leominster outscoring opponents 162-20. Meanwhile, Peabody outscoring opponents 155-15. So Peabody defensively has not allowed as many points, but offensively they haven't scored as many either. Meanwhile, Leominster's allowed a few more defensively and scored a few more offensively in order to get to the exact same place, which is, of course, both teams are 4-0 coming into tonight.
Yeah, and if you were to break it down by possessions and how each team has been scoring their points, I'm guessing that those statistics would probably line up quite nicely. They both are, put the pedal to the metal type of offenses. They're not going to mess around. Other than that opening touchdown that Leominster gave up last week at Shepherd Hill that shocked everybody, you take that 6 points out of the mix and 15 seconds of game time, and it looks even better on Leominster's side of the paper. But I think that it's going to be a challenge for both defenses tonight, and I think that it might not be just a matter of stops, but it might actually be a turnover or two that makes a difference. Which defense is more on the spot, quicker to the ball, harder hitting, and that really where the game could turn.
And Kate, numerically, Leominster's defense certainly has kept the offenses in their check when they play the opposition, not just numerically. Offenses have underperformed this year against Leominster's defense.
Well, and we mentioned it quite a bit before the game last week. Leominster's defense only giving up 6 points up to that point in the entire season through 3 games. So, they found themselves behind early on last week in that matchup, but it didn't take them long to right the ship. The third quarter, was an absolute blast to call because it was just amazing to watch the fireworks that just kind of went off. It was just a show. So it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. I think that you're probably right. Leominster's defense is going to be a bend, don't break situation. How much can they essentially thwart this high-powered offense of Peabody and just try to keep the damage to a minimum so that they can give Osiris Lopez and the offense the ability to put up 20-plus points and still get the W?
And another thing, Kate, and I think we touched on this a little bit. Todd did a little bit, before your comments, that Leominster's done a great job of keeping the opposition between the 30s. And when you don't have that field position, your starting field position more often than not is on your side of the 50, more likely between the 20 and 30 is where the Leominster's offense and or defense or punt team or kickoff team, whatever it is, has been putting the other team on the field offensively. They've been doing a great job of, like you say, break but don't bend. Play between the 30s, get a turnover on downs, get a punt or, a missed opportunity and take advantage like that. You don't actually have to possess the ball to create a turnover. You just got to stop the team, put them in an awkward position that you're too close to punt, so let's go for it. And Leominster's putting the opposition's offense in that position quite often this year.
Countdown to kickoff here on RFM Audio. Great to have you along with us, both here on RFM Audio and on Leominster TV. Kate, I'm going to give you a chance to respond to that. It's 18 minutes to the top of the hour. We have Leominster and Peabody for you. We will have that full live video play-by-play along with the audio play-by-play here on Leominster TV, and then we'll have that streaming audio play-by-play on RFM Audio coming up at the top of the hour. Kate, I'm going to give you a chance to respond to Bill Thomas's point, and then you're going to take us around the region.
Sounds like fun to me. Now, the only thing I wanted to say is, Bill Thomas, you've always been incredibly adept at monitoring that starting field position for Leominster and any of their opponents. And it's amazing how immensely important that is, because if you can start with a short field, sometimes it makes almost all the difference in the world, because when you're having to consistently drive the ball all the way down the field, it puts a lot of strain on your offense. And so I think you're probably right. Taking a look at that starting field position is going to be absolutely key to making the efficiency of these offenses that much better. So we'll keep a keen eye on that for you tonight.
Indeed we will, Kate. And it's time for our trip around the region. Week 5 is another busy week of high school football action. Kate, you're going to take us around the region from home base. Let us know everything that's going on out there tonight.
All right, we will. Mr. P just woke up from a nap, so hopefully he will stay quiet through this one. You got to stay quiet, buddy.
He's the
Okay,
best
here we
co-host
go.
you're ever going to find.
He is.
He
We're
works for
alone
Formula.
at the moment. He does work for Formula, and he and I are alone at the moment, so this could get precarious, so everybody bear with. All right, so in the Catholic Conference, we get Catholic Memorial at St. John's. That'll be an interesting matchup there. Abby Kelly heads to Murdoch tonight. Blue Hills is at Monty Tech. The Nipmuc Warriors head to St. Bernard's. They're at the Bernardian Bowl tonight, Bill Thomas.
They're struggling. The St. Bernard's Bernardians are playing great, so I wish them well, but it's going to be a tough matchup for the Warriors.
We've got the Battle of the Unbeatens, Sutton heading to Millbury tonight. Both of those teams 4-0 on the season. Worcester South is at Tantasqua. Grafton heads to Doherty. One of the things I love on social, the Doherty assistant coach does a phenomenal job letting us know tonight, Doherty, black on maroon for the unis tonight.
Ooh.
Love that. And that's at Foley Stadium in Worcester. Shepherd Hill and Algonquin, battle of the 1 and 3s in the mid-watch. They are at Algonquin tonight. Shrewsbury, 3-1, taking on Walpole. Wachusett heads to Salem, New Hampshire tonight, so that's a classic matchup right there. Marlborough is heading to Fitchburg on the night tonight. Westboro heads to Neshoba. Maynard is away at Groton Dunstable tonight. Both of those teams 3-1. Drakeit heads to North Middlesex. Littleton is at Clinton. Quabbin is at Air Shirley this evening. And I know there's a bit of a cloud over the Air Shirley community tonight. So that will be an emotional evening tonight there, I am sure. Lunenburg heads to Gardner this evening. Narragansett at Auburn. That one was moved to Thursday night. So we actually have a final there. Auburn beating Narragansett 48-21 the final. Oakmont heads to 4-0 Hudson this evening. Obviously, Leominster is at Peabody. If we take a look at the Saturday, October 8th slate, and happy anniversary, sweetheart. Baypath heads to BVT tomorrow. St. Paul is at Blackstone, Millville, Hopedale. Worcester North got a long trip all the way to Burncoat. It's a home game for both at Foley Stadium in Worcester. West Boylston heads to Tingsboro. Leicester is at Uxbridge. East Bridgewater heads to Northbridge. And then the Sunday slate, that's right, a Sunday slate. Worcester Tech at Assabet Valley. That's a 4 p.m. kick at Polar Park. And that's a last-minute scheduling change, and we've got a fussy baby, so that has to be the end of the Around the Region.
Thank you, Kate. Bill Thomas, you've got an update. You said that that Air Shirley game has been canceled.
It's been moved to 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay, so they're going to give them one extra day.
They're going to give them a day to grieve and mourn, but they will have that game tomorrow at 5 p.m.
That is very much understandable. That's our trip around the region. Kate Robbins will keep us up to date on scores going on all across the region tonight. We've got 14 minutes to the top of the hour when we've got Leominster and Peabody for you here on RFM Audio and Leominster TV. A battle of undefeated football teams, both 4-0 coming into tonight. Central versus Eastern Mass. There's all sorts of storylines to cover in this one. And Bill Thomas, I'm going to let you take a crack at this tonight. In as short a way as we can get across, Peabody and Leominster are both Division II teams. Both are 4-0. Leominster finds themselves top 10 at this point in time in the power ratings. Peabody, better top 10. They're top 5.
Well, I think it's that Eastern Mass phenomenon where the teams just get more power strength ratings by playing each other. You know, we joke about where's all the Central Mass teams in the power ratings. Well, out of 30, and I never really looked at it this much, and I'm not going to spend 20 minutes deciphering this. But 34 teams in Division II, I only count 3 that we would actually call Central Mass.
Yes.
And, you know, Leominster being one of them at 9. You know, Chelmsford's on the fence. Algonquin, obviously, and Doherty. Everybody else is on the east side of 495 and or 128. So, you know, I think we're holding our own there with that mix of the, you know, Division II Eastern Mass power rankings. And you know, and when they revamped the power rankings, the divisions, and created 8, a lot of the Central Mass and Western Mass schools just got dropped down 3, 4, and 5 and diluted it all the way down to 8, I think, where, you know, St. Bernard's and some of the small schools are. So, you know, it's nice to see Leominster holding their own and now actually venturing into enemy territory tonight and seeing how it plays out long run. But a PowerPoint bonanza for both teams tonight.
Certainly, both teams can benefit their situation with a win tonight. And then there is, of course, the perspective of the quality loss, which somebody will have to explain how that works. But one team is going to walk away from tonight with a quality loss.
Somebody could lose tonight, but not actually affect the positions in the power rate, maybe even improve it. I don't know. On Leominster, we could speculate, but Peabody's pretty well cemented at 3, but Leominster could use some help on the opponent's power average and see if they can't get themselves up on that end of the slate. But there was some talk about, Leominster might not make the playoffs. I don't think that is part of the conversation anymore. They're firmly entrenched in the playoff picture. Now they control their own fate 100%.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think there would be a situation where they would have to lose, I would say, more than 2 games here down the stretch.
I even see 5 and 3 maybe making it in.
Okay.
Based on strength going forward. Shrewsbury
and what the rest of the division is doing
has a lot of power points there too on either side. Once again, let's not look at quality losses.
Sure.
But there are points galore going down the stretch. And, even Algonquin's going to be a good little test just, as a local rival.
Indeed it will. Exciting season to come. We're going to have it all for you here on RFM Audio and Leominster TV. As we get closer and closer, our friends at Peabody TV are getting closer and closer to bringing their live stream in, which we will bring up at the appropriate point when their action goes to the field. They've got a pregame that they will be running. We're going to continue our countdown to kickoff here on RFM Audio and on Leominster TV as we go with our trip inside the headset with Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates. I had a clip from earlier this week on Coach's Corner on RFM Audio. I'm going to forego that just in the interest of time. If we have some time later on, we will get back to it. But on his ride down to Peabody tonight, Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates sent me the following keys to victory for Leominster tonight. Control the ball, pressure Shea Lynch, the star senior quarterback for Peabody, limit explosive plays, and win the line of scrimmage. That's our trip inside the headset with Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates. His keys to victory. Bill Thomas, what is your reaction to those keys to victory?
Well, I think he's spot on. It's going to be, up to this point in the season, star quarterback against star quarterback. Everything's going to flow through that quarterback position. The veteran presence, senior presence that Peabody brings to the field might give them that little bit of an edge, but Osiris Lopez hasn't shown any penchant for acting or playing like a freshman. Even when he's being pressured, he's playing way up over his standings within the team as a first-year player. So I think that, it's really going to all flow through the quarterback position. Leominster defense just going to have to get after the quarterback, move him off his spot, don't let him stand there and survey the field.
Indeed, that
he's a big kid, and he can survey the field.
He certainly is that. So if you're sitting there wondering, and I promised one time and one time only I would address this, why are we inside the studios of Leominster TV?
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
When the action is in Peabody tonight. Here is the explanation, and this will be the one and only time we will address it tonight. So each and every game week, an email is sent to the athletic director of the host school as well as the head football coach, in this case, Peabody High School. That email was sent at 8 a.m. on Monday morning to both of Peabody's athletic director and head coach. Those emails were not returned to RFM Audio or Leominster TV until sometime midday Thursday. By that point in time, both Leominster TV and RFM Audio had worked out an arrangement with Peabody TV in order to provide the live coverage from their camera positions and then allow us to work from studio here to be able to see the game and provide you the live play-by-play call. It's an unfortunate and yet disappointing situation that both the athletic department and the head football coach from Peabody elected not to participate in tonight's broadcast. A roster was transmitted via Peabody TV. The only roster we had up until midday yesterday was from Max Preps that was posted under an account that is presumed to be Peabody High School. We report, you decide. But that is where we are tonight. We are in the studios of Leominster TV. You will have live coverage if you are on Leominster TV from the camera positions of Peabody TV, and we will supplement that with our shots from here inside the studio. For those of you that are joining us on RFM audio, you will know no difference, as you will just hear the audio play-by-play that Bill Thomas and I, along with Kate Robbins back at HQ, provide you tonight. And that is the story that brings us to where we are tonight. It is disappointing, I would say, in my 13 plus years back here on the play-by-play, both on radio, streaming audio, and then on Leominster TV as well, and then going all the way back to 1999, and that includes our COVID years. We have never failed to go to site. We aspired to go to site, we wanted to go to site, and Peabody elected not to participate or allow us to participate from site tonight. And that is where we are at. Thankfully, our partners tonight at Peabody TV were gracious and hospitable enough to provide us their camera position. So we will be working from their stream. It'll basically be like we are all sitting in your living room watching tonight's action with our play-by-play. And that is the nuts and bolts for how we got to where we are tonight. And that would have seemed like, maybe about 2 hours ago, the biggest headline of the night. It's not even close to the top 5 headlines to where we are as we set you in the direction of the starting lineup. So let's get tonight's starting lineups first for Leominster's offense in their own voices.
Cyrus Lopez, number 9, freshman, quarterback.
Braden Martin, number 46, junior, running back.
Rick Encarnacion, 0, senior, receiver.
Brian Aguilar, number 1, senior, wide receiver.
Caden Drinkwater, number 8, freshman, wide receiver.
Joshua Cormier, 44, senior, H-back.
Logan Arcee, number 54, senior, left tackle.
Delmar Wright, number 52, senior, offensive line.
John Escabi, 56, senior, center, captain.
Corin Sullivan, number 73, senior, offensive guard.
Tony Kendall, number 69, junior, offensive tackle.
And that's Leominster's offense. They will be matched up against a 3-3-5 Peabody defense, so it will look a lot like Shepherd Hill's lineup. The defensive tackles up front, Jose Lendor and Ramey Andino, Alex Jackson, the other defensive tackles. In the linebacker core, Alex Silva, Donald Kavanaugh, Jimmy Festa. The 5 defensive backs, Jace Dooley, Vincent O'Hara, Eli Batista, Alan Paulino, and Jace Jean-Pierre. That is the starting 3-3-5 defense for Peabody tonight. Now let's meet the Leominster 4-3 defense as originally listed to start tonight.
John Escabi, 56, senior, D-end, captain.
Giovanni Roman, 55, senior, defensive line.
Logan Arcee, number 54, senior, D-tackle.
Delmar Wright, number 52, senior, defensive line.
Keegan Nummer, senior, number 16, junior, linebacker.
Xavier Cora, number 5, sophomore, linebacker.
Joshua Cormier, 44, senior, linebacker.
Brian Aguilar, number 1, senior, cornerback.
Steven Diaz, 11, senior, cornerback.
Jared Viola, number 3, senior, safety.
Rick Encarnacion, 0, senior, safety.
And that is Leominster's 4-3 defense. They'll be matched up against Peabody's spread offense, left to right across the front line. The left tackle, Ramey Andino. The left guard, Dylan Anise. The center, Costadin Dima. The right side of the line, the right guard, Jimmy Festa. And the right tackle, Alex Jackson. The tight end is Eli Batista. He'll also play some slot receiver. The wide receivers, Vincent O'Hara and Danny Barrett. The running backs, Alan Paulino and Will Pinto. The quarterback, Shay Lynch, who threw for over 300 yards against Marblehead in a win last week. So those are the starting lineups as they were originally listed. Now it's time for the details and modifications. For Leominster, on the injury report, Mackay Newton was listed as a game time decision. We will see whether Mackay Newton will start tonight. We will see whether Mackay Newton will take the field. He is at this point doubtful to play in tonight's action. So very likely you can scratch Mackay Newton, Leominster's number 2, from your roster tonight, either running the football or playing in the linebacker core. That means for Leominster, Braden Martin will get the start, which you heard in our starting lineup tonight, and that's on the offensive side at running back, and on the defensive side at linebacker, Keegan Amarasinga will get the start at linebacker, and he has played phenomenal in lieu of Mackay Newton over the last couple of weeks. So that is one side of the ball. Now here is the breaking news that we have for you here on our broadcast tonight. For Leominster, scratch number 0, Ricky Encarnacion, the senior all-everything three-phase of the game player on Leominster's offense, defense, and special teams. Per Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates, he will not be available tonight, and this is the statement that we have for you via Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates. Quote, Ricky Encarnacion is not available tonight for reasons beyond his or our control. We support him, end quote. So once again, per Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates, you can scratch 0, Ricky Encarnacion, for, quote, Ricky Encarnacion is not available tonight for reasons beyond his or our control. We support him, end quote. And so for Leominster tonight, Bill Thomas, although we talk about the vast sum of weapons that Leominster has, Ricky Encarnacion is more than just an incredibly talented football player. He's an incredibly talented human being and a real heart and soul of this football team. They are going to miss Ricky Encarnacion in that huddle and in that leadership out on the field tonight. Sorry, Bill Thomas, go ahead.
Absolutely, Todd. You know, he's going to be sorely missed, not only just on the field, on the bus ride down, in the locker room, you know, on the sidelines, everything that Ricky brings to the team. You know, we've seen it in whatever sport he's played. We've followed him a number of years, but he's just for the football side of it, 10 touchdowns you're taking off the field that Ricky scored this year. So that's going to be hard to replace
in multiple
too.
Phases of the game.
And every phase, whether it's punt returns, defense, running the ball, catching over the middle. I mean, you know, he's scored a touchdown pretty much every way you can. And a total of 10 touchdowns. So it's going to be hard to find a way to replace him averaging 2.5 touchdowns a game that he's provided, you know, the scoring punch. So, but I think that Leominster has enough weapons. They're going to find a way to adapt, modify and adapt their offense without Ricky. Might miss him more on defense, actually, the way he plays center field back there at a safety position. But I think they're going to find a way to overcome, adapt to playing without Ricky, much like if he got injured the first play of the game, and maybe rally around his absence.
And that is something that we will see. Although we don't have the precise replacement plan for Ricky Encarnacion, I have to imagine Steve Diaz has been doubling at both linebacker and defensive back. Maybe he drops back to defensive back, opens up a linebacker opportunity. Perhaps you bring Dominic Swain in for Leominster and get him into the lineup in the mix of the linebacking core, which would then give you a secondary of Brian Aguilar, Jared Viola, Steve Diaz, Braden Martin. That's a potential combination in that final level of the defense.
Yeah, I think Leominster is going to find a way. The coaching staff is going to find a way to plug the holes. I mean, when Mackay Newton went down, they found a way with Braden Martin, stepped right in and really hasn't missed a beat at running back, really provided a spark there, averaging, you know, 6.5 a carry, you know, when he's taken over the chore of the duties the last couple of games. So I think they'll find a way to adapt and overcome the loss of Ricky tonight. But no doubt about it, it's a big loss not having him on the field on both sides of the ball. He's a two-way player. He's a four-way player. He's a special teams player. He's a sideline coach and offense and defense. So he's going to be really missed tonight.
And that is our countdown to kickoff. Leominster and Peabody coming up from Veterans Memorial Field in Peabody tonight. The play-by-play right here from the studios of Leominster TV. We can see on our screens that they have completed the national anthem out at Veterans Memorial Field. You can see it on your screen now, which means we're getting ready for football action here on Leominster TV. So Bradley will bring that action up for you, and we'll get you set for this one, Bill Thomas, as we get closer and closer to the play-by-play.
And you are listening to Leominster High School football from RFM Audio on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. It's time for our signature play-by-play. Now, with the call of the game, the voice of the Blue Devils, Todd Robbins.
All right, Bill Thomas, thank you so much, and we're ready for high school football action. Leominster and Peabody. As you can see, a packed set of stands and a standing room only press box as well, clearly on your screen.
That
in
didn't
front
take
of
long,
you
Todd.
as well. Now there's $1 for the jar as we get ready for action here. Leominster and Peabody coming up.
That is a nice press box.
We have not seen from the angles that we have had a coin toss, so we're going to find out together who is kicking off on this. Bill Thomas, we're not able to give you your role here.
Well, when they get out there on the field, I'll kind of decipher what happened. I'm guessing whoever wins the coin toss is probably deferring to the second half.
Seems to be the new
But you never
thing.
know. I tell you, these offenses, they're so prolific, they might say, we want the ball because they want that extra offensive opportunity. Looks like the Tanners are kicking off here.
Indeed they are. Leominster is going to start with the football. Standing with the ball, 40-yard line at our left. On the approach, it's Dominic Scalise. The kick is away. End over end, it will roll, and it will be returned from the Leominster 12-yard line. Straight up the middle of the field into the pile and snuffed out quickly there. Looked like Christian Vasquez, no, check it, Keegan Amarasinga on the return for Leominster. Ball across the 20 to the 24-yard line, and that is where Leominster will set up shop. First down and 10, their own 24-yard line going right to left here in half number one, wearing the road white tops, white bottoms, trimmed in royal blue numerals front and back, the royal blue trim on either side, a smattering of pink as October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the classic Leominster helmet, white helmet with a white face mask and a single royal blue stripe up the middle. On first down and 10, from the shotgun formation, Lopez the snap, give to the first man through. It was Martin. Martin's carry across the 25-yard line to the 27, gains 3, and it will be second down and 7.
Right away, not surprising, feeding Braden Martin the ball. He's been the feature running back the last 3 games since Micah Newton got hurt, but he's really filling that role nicely.
Back in that shotgun set, Martin in the backfield. 3 receivers spread across the formation, 2 out to the right. Snap of the football, give to the first man to the hole, across the 25, and reaching does Braden Martin toward the 30-yard line. Stopped up short at the 29, gives him a gain of about 3 more, and it will leave third down and about 5 to go.
Big play right here, and kind of surprising. Blue Devils keeping the ball on the ground here this first series. I'll have to see if they come out throwing on third down.
Lopez breaks his huddle. Shotgun set, Martin in the backfield. 3 receivers in the formation, now 4 as Juan Miranda will flank out slot to the left. Lopez checks the line, calls signals. Snap back to pass, hits the back foot, now starts to improvise. He'll roll out to the right, calls for a block as he calls his own number, angled toward the right sideline, steps out of bounds just shy of the 35 at the 34-yard line. Looks like he is just beyond the line to gain for a Leominster first down, and this first drive continues.
Nice job right there. Good awareness by Osiris, knowing exactly where he had to get, directing traffic, holding up the defense just enough to use his legs to get that first down.
Got a nice block from Tony Kendall there on the edge. First down and 10, Leominster. Ball located at their own 34-yard line at right hash, going right to left. Shotgun set, 4 receivers split evenly. Lopez back to pass. 5-step drop. Launches. Left sideline looking for Drinkwater, who makes the juggle catch and tiptoes at the sideline across the 20 and out of bounds at the Tanner 19-yard line. Drinkwater again. Another contested catch.
And it looks like that play went for about 45 yards of pitch and catch, and how he held on to that fingertip grab, I'll never know, Todd.
He never fails to amaze in season number 1 in blue and white.
I tell you, this can't say enough about this freshman and how big he's been playing.
Just launches, maybe makes a little contact there. Didn't extend the arms, but was able to make the catch and stay in bounds down the left sideline.
Called creating space, Tom.
Indeed it was.
A little space.
We missed the first down play. It was stopped up at the line on a carry by Martin for no gain. The official spot of the ball actually was the 20, so it's a loss of 2 back to the 22-yard line.
Fortunately, we didn't see it.
Yeah, second down and 12. Ball located at the 22-yard line at left hash of the Tanners as Leominster's march continues from right to left.
Got to expect them to go back up top this play.
Shotgun set, 3 receivers out in the formation. Lopez asks for the ball. Back to pass, 5 steps, flushed out of the pocket. Steps up off the left side of the line, cross the 15, now the 10, the 5. Horse collar tackle as he crosses the 5-yard line, and no flag comes out on the play. Remember, by Federation rule, you do not have to have the hand fully inside the horse collar. Simply grabbing the nameplate and pulling the player down is akin to a horse collar tackle by Federation rule. There is no flag down on the play.
They got something against Leominster.
Well, there is a flag on the play, but it is before the catch. It is a hold signaled against the Blue Devils. It'll be a 10-yard penalty back to the original line of scrimmage or back from the point of attack. Now, you get the horse collar tackle, all of a sudden that offsets, and then this enforcement doesn't matter.
I think the officials missed that one, Todd. He had him up around, maybe not inside the neckline, but up around the nameplate, where the nameplate would be in the back. You described it perfectly, but it's going against Leominster.
Ball marches back across the 30, across the 35, and at the Tanner 36-yard line at left hash. This is an officiating crew assigned by Eastern Massachusetts. Shotgun set, 3 receivers in the formation, 2 tight to the formation left. High snap fielded by Lopez. He'll roll to his right, throw on the one-on-one coverage, and it is...
He never threw it.
Never thrown.
He got faked out by the camera guy.
Yeah, took it out of bounds. Flag is down on the play at the 37-yard line.
That play was a mess. I didn't see what happened, though, Todd.
Didn't get a great look at it here.
Looks like it's going against Leominster again.
Officials are coming over to consult with head coach Mark Betancourt to give him his options.
And this is definitely not in the playbook. If the coach was going to say, you know, another phase you want to win, it's the penalty phase.
Holding signaled against Leominster on back-to-back plays. They have declined the penalty, and so they will take the down. It is 3rd down.
Looks like it went for no gain. You know, and to go back to that holding penalty, it was behind the line of scrimmage, so they actually ended up losing more than 10 yards. I don't know why that wasn't a line of scrimmage foul behind.
It's from the point of the hold.
Yeah, so it ended up costing them close to 15 yards on that hold, and that play went for no gain.
3rd and 26, ball located at the 36-yard line of the Tanners at right hash. Lopez, the snap, drops back to pass, looks down right sideline, launches, end zone, reaching, long and incomplete. Beat the double coverage. Brian Aguilar was the intended receiver for Leominster.
Yeah, he's saying he got his arm grabbed there, pulled down at the last second, but no flag.
9:25 and counting to play here in quarter 1. And Leominster faces a 4th down and 26 at the Tanner 36-yard line at right hash. Is it Dan Thompson time? Do you bring on a potential field goal here, or do you go for it here early? A turnover on downs on, say, an incompletion is a 1st and 10 for the Tanners at their own 36-yard line.
Yeah, but you don't want to give them the spot from where you might try a crazy field goal here, 40-plus yard line. And then you try to get him to jump here, or maybe you
Drinkwater's one-on-one at the left sideline. Meanwhile, trips bunch tight to the right. Snap for Lopez. Rolls out. Launches deep. And it is a fair catch made on an interception at the 2-yard line. The return for Jace Dooley comes back across the 5 to the 9-yard line. It is an interception that turns the ball over, but Bill Thomas bat the ball down incomplete.
That's a 25-yard win for Leominster's offense right there. Yeah, you give the ball up, but not really good situation awareness by the defender. You're right, Todd. You want to bat that down. You get the ball out at the 35 or better, close to the 40. Now the Tanners are down close to the 10, maybe the 11-yard line.
1st and 10.
Inside the 10, Todd, looking at that
9-yard line at right hash. So 1st and 10 for the Tanners, located at their own 9-yard line at right hash. And here comes Shea Lynch. Indeed it is. Lynch, shotgun formation. 3 receivers out in the formation, 2 wide to the left as they come left to right. Takes the shotgun snap. Handoff goes inside this time. Swallowed up quickly, but Will Pinto. Pinto may have been stopped up at the line for no gain, maybe a short loss. No, they give him the 9. No gain on the play. Tanners are wearing the Color Rush navy blue top and bottom, trimmed in Columbia blue. Columbia blue numerals front and back. A Tanner head that looks vaguely like that of UT Austin, University of Texas Austin, and a helmet that is white with the navy blue face mask, the steer head on either side of this Tanner helmet. They too have the smattering of pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 2nd down and 10. Lynch back to pass. Looks out of the gun and throws. Pass is complete for Jace Dooley, out of bounds across the 25 at the 27-yard line, and it is enough for a Tanner 1st down on a gain of 18.
Nice job right there, clearing out the flat there on the right side. Let the underneath man work his way there. Nice little pitch and catch. Move the sticks. Get yourself out from the shadow of your goal line, which is most important right now for the Tanners.
8:24, the clock stopped on the play out of bounds. Left here in quarter number 1. Leominster's first drive stalls in Tanner territory and ends with an interception by Jace Dooley. Tanners have their first touch of the football. First down and 10.
A lot of movement, pre-snap movement.
Ball at
here.
their own 36, they are. Ch rearranging. He'll move 2 receivers to the right of the formation. Tough to tell where we are with the play clock, but here's the snap for Lynch. Goes 3-quarter throw, complete at the 30-yard line for Colin Ridley. Spun out of bounds, and flags are out on the play as Ridley may have been hit across the line. This looks like a personal foul, and it will be the 3rd flag in the first 4 minutes of the football game assigned against Leominster.
Yeah, I didn't see who gave the little swing move there, but yeah, I think they kind of whipped him around on the sideline. Flags came from all directions, so not much question about what the officials felt about that play.
I'm going to say this one time here in the early part of the broadcast. At the college level, to negate a home field advantage, the visiting team brings a crew. So if you have, say, a Big 12 and an ACC non-conference matchup, and the Big 12 team is on the road at the ACC school, it is a Big 12 officiating crew that would be assigned to that game. There's only one Power 5 conference that doesn't do it. It's the Pac-12, who makes you use Pac-12 officials no matter the matchup, conference or not. Meanwhile, at the high school level, it is assigned based on your local officiating board. Lynch back to pass on 1st and 10 after the 15 yards. Pass is knocked down on the line, incomplete. Braden Martin pierced the line and knocked that one away.
Yeah, looked like Delmar Wright in there too. A little bit of help.
Check it, Bill Thomas. John Ascabi.
John Ascabi, yeah. Front 3, front 4 doing a good job pushing those blockers back into that passing zone, getting the hands up. Nice job batting that down.
2nd and 10, ball located at the Tanner 48-yard line at right hash. 5 receivers in an empty backfield for Lynch. Trips located to the left, paired down tight to the boundary right. Lynch throws a few pre-snap signals. Now the snap. Stands flat-footed and throws. Slot complete for Ridley with open space. Midfield across the 40-35. Out of bounds across the 30 at the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 27 for the Tanners, and they've got themselves 1st and 10 at Leominster territory at the Leominster 24-yard line at right hash.
And they see something that Leominster's not doing. They're not covering up the underneath receiver coming out of the backfield, swinging out there. They're running that flat clear and then using that open space.
Stay with the 5 receiver, empty set. Lynch on 1st and 10. Back to pass. Eludes Ascabi. Play seems to end, but Ascabi continues. Now there's a flag out on the play, and Lynch will just run it out of bounds after crossing the 25 at the 23-yard line. This came from the umpire in the area of offensive holding.
Can we find a hold there with all that running around? That's what I would say if I was.
Well, and when the play stopped, Bill Thomas, that's where things become really awkward.
A lot of twisting and changing directions too, and that's when the linemen get hung up. That's when the offensive linemen get caught hooking a defender. Is it raining, Todd?
It sure looks like the rain has begun at Veterans Memorial Field in Peabody.
It is.
It was a hold signaled against Peabody. Moves the ball back across the Leominster 30 to the 35-yard line. They will replay 1st down. It'll be 1st and 21 for the Tanners at the Leominster 35 at right hash. Empty set again. Pinto goes, check it, Paulino goes slot left as part of a trips to the left of the formation. Pair of receivers tight to the boundary right. Lynch, the snap, hit the back of the center. Lynch comes forward. He picks it up, runs forward across the 35, and he's taken down at the 32-yard line. Johnny on the spot, Shea Lynch. That's a senior quarterback who was not bothered, Bill Thomas, by the fact that the shotgun snap hit the butt end of the center, Costa Dindima.
Yeah, it never got to him. It was right at the feet, especially Gio Roma come out of that pile. Really frustrated. I think he thought he had a shot at that, but somehow the quarterback able to scoop it up and actually get a couple yards out of that.
Advances the football to the Leominster 32-yard line at right hash. The march continues for the Tanners from left to right. 2nd down and 17. Shotgun set. 4 receivers in the formation, a pair on either side. It's Paulino in the backfield with Lynch. Lynch, hard count. Leominster jumps, breaks the neutral zone. It's Delmar Wright, and he's patting himself on the side of the face mask. He knows he just gave up 5 more yards on an offside.
Yeah, and against an offense like this, you can't just give up a free 5 yards there. You get them back in a hole. 2nd down, scrambling long, but kind of makes this a little more manageable now for the Tanners.
Tonight's broadcast of high school football on RFM Audio is televised in simulcast via our partners at Leominster TV, LTV Sports, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 32. For replay schedules, visit leominster.tv for more information. 2nd down and 12 after the penalty. Ball across the Leominster 30 to the 27-yard line at right hash. Shotgun set, a hard count from Lynch. Leominster feinted but never broke the line. The snap, blitz comes, picked up inside for the block. Lynch goes underneath, hits the slot receiver, and he's down at the 16-yard line. Nice catch made there. 22 is Eli Batista.
Have to see where they spot this here. They're going to give him the first down. It looks like it. Picked up enough. A gain of about 14 there, Todd.
They mark it at the Leominster 15-yard line.
He's going to move the sticks.
Get another look at this one on Peabody TV. And Lynch eluded that block, Bill Thomas, plus eluded a block in front of him as well. And there was great blitz pickup on the backside of that play.
Yeah, he did a good job stepping up. You know, once the pocket started to collapse, just took that 1 or 2 steps forward, get a clear look, and found a receiver crossing.
Down under the 6.5-minute mark and counting here in quarter one of a scoreless football game. Leominster and Peabody. 1st and 10. They mark it 3rd and 1 here from the Leominster 15. Fake the give for Paulino. He hands it for Lynch. Lynch, right sideline. Down said right sideline. Reaches for the goal line and in. A scramble touchdown for Shea Lynch on a great delay. Fake the handoff to Paulino. Paulino goes left. So did the camera. And Lynch went right down the sideline and in for a Tanner touchdown and the first score of the night.
And so did most of the Leominster defenders, too. I'm not sure I was out there in the corner, but whoever it was, Lynch was able to beat him to that pylon. Unfortunately, the camera didn't follow him, but we know it's a touchdown. We saw the officials.
Personnel problems here. Keep in mind, Lynch holds for Dominic Scalise, who will attempt the point after kicking from left to right at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Peabody in the rain. Snap the ball down, the foot put through, and it is good. And as the teams come back upfield, 6:08 to play in the first quarter to score. Peabody 7 and Leominster nothing. Quick check of our time and temperature game time conditions here. Currently in Peabody, mostly cloudy with light showers coming to an end. They're saying in about 15 minutes or so. Currently 67 degrees, wind 9 miles an hour out there. Humidity 61%. It's soupy, Bill Thomas, and it's coming from the sky as well.
Well, maybe the PBD AD and the coach did us a favor by keeping us dry tonight. But, yeah, nice scramble touchdown there, getting back to the game. Scramble touchdown, 15 yards by Lynch. I think that was a design play, nothing improvising about that. Just pull the defense in and then work the outside.
7:20 on a Friday night, October the 7th. And Bill Thomas, 6 years ago today, we were here doing a football game at Doyle Field. It was Leominster and Algonquin. And then the very next day, Kate and I got married. And here we are the day before again, Saturday, October 8th. We'll celebrate our 6th anniversary. She beat me to it in the countdown to kickoff, but I get it on the replay over and over and over again.
I remember like it was yesterday.
So happy anniversary, sweetheart. Thank you so much for 6 great years and a little guy named Patrick as well, joining us this year as well.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you, sir. Ball back on the T40-yard line at our left. Here comes Scalise with the kick from left to right. It's a line drive down the middle. It will go out the back of the end zone. It'll be a Leominster 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. And now back to the betrothed, Kate Robbins, back at RFM HQ.
All right. Thank you so much. We have on that scoring drive, an 11-play drive, 3.5 minutes long, obviously, ends with the 15-yard scamper touchdown by the quarterback, Shea Lynch. Extra point good. Peabody up 7-0.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. I didn't even get a reaction on using the word betrothed in the broadcast. Did anybody notice that? Unbelievable.
Nothing surprises me at this point, Todd. They just in one ear and out the other sometimes. Keep them flying.
1st and 10 for Leominster. They're on 20-yard line, middle of the field. Shotgun set. 3 receivers in the formation for Lopez as Leominster goes right to left. The shotgun snap. The handoff is for Mackay Newton, who gets the carry for Leominster. Newton up the right hash, cross the 20, stop down at the 23-yard line. And Bill Thomas, we have an answer on that gain of 5. Mackay Newton is in the football game, although he did not start tonight.
No, we haven't seen him for a couple of weeks either. He played sparingly. I think 3 weeks ago he's been nursing an injury, a lower extremity injury, but they haven't really been pressured to get him back on the field because of the way the offense has been performing. But stepping up tonight. Apparently he's feeling good enough and trying to take out some slack, missing out on Ricken and Cascio.
2nd and 5 from Leominster's 25. The snap, the delay, give for Newton. He takes it to the right of the formation, turns just across the hashes, across the 25, and gains 1 to the 26. Maybe they'll give him, the 27, a gain of 2, which will bring up a 3rd down and 3 to go.
Yeah, not much to be had there in the middle. Newton trying to pick his way. Decides to turn it inside, but the Tanner defenders are waiting there for him.
Nice defensive play there. 26 on the play was Will Pinto, who made the wrapping tackle for the Tanners. 3rd down, 4 to go. Leominster needs their own 30-yard line for a 1st down. Shotgun set, 3 receivers, 2 wide to the left. Lopez barks some hard signals. Now he looks over to head coach Devin Gates on the sideline to get a change of the play as we cross the 4:40 mark here of quarter number 1. Lopez barking signals, now directing traffic. He'll ask for the ball. High snap fielded, lands the foot, throws, slant coming from the right. Pass is caught by a diving Brian Aguilar. He'll move the football to the 34. Maybe they'll give him the 35-yard line. Nose of the football at the 35 is a Leominster 1st down on a gain of 7.
Nice job right there. Just knew exactly what he wanted to do. Just beat the defense to the spot and move the chains. Nice job right there by that freshman quarterback.
And Bill Thomas, that's got to do with change of play at the line. Clearly the sideline saw something, made just a little change, and got the slant coming from the right.
Yep, made that inside adjustment, take advantage of the defender.
Lopez on 1st and 10 from the Leominster 35. Fake the give, keep it himself. Take it out to the right of the formation, right up the right hashes, cross the 35 and toward the 40, taken down at the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6. Leominster needs their own 45 for a 1st down.
A little quarterback draw there, trying to keep the on-rushing lineman from the Tanners honest and give him his blockers a little better opportunity to hold them up. Nice 4+ on that 1st down. Give him a nice chance here to get the ball downfield maybe.
Shotgun set, 2 receivers tight to the boundary right. Single receivers drink water out to the left. The give is for Newton. Newton tries to stretch the play to the left, reaching toward the 40-yard line. Defense was there. They did a nice job to slide and finish him off right around the 40-yard line. Bill Thomas, or a short, maybe 1 yard gained on the play, looking like 3rd down and 4 to go.
Yeah, that'd be generous to say he gained anything. Did a lot of east and west there, but got to turn it up. Tanners did a good job of stringing that out. All of a sudden ran out of field.
How about the center, John Escabi, pulling after snapping the football and becoming the lead block in front of Newton on that play.
Trying to help him out. Nice job. Well-designed play, but Tanners blew up that outside block. And you just got to really fill the lanes over there, and the tackle makes itself.
2:50 and counting to play here in the 1st quarter. Peabody with the 7-0 advantage. 2nd down and 5 to go at the Leominster 40 at left hash. Shotgun snap, 4 receivers looking to the trips right. Pass thrown and caught and blown up. Dooley with the hit, the catch made by Steve Diaz. He is slow to get up across midfield. It's a Leominster 1st down at the Tanner 48-yard line, but a shoulder block thrown by Dooley.
Yeah, but I mean, where's the unprotected receiver there? I mean, never really got a chance to turn his head, and I mean, not a bad tackle, but definitely kind of a blindside tackle right there. Player had no chance to protect himself. Diaz being attended to right now, and it'd be a big loss if he is unable to continue. It looks a little wobbly.
Defenseless receiver is the penalty you're looking for, Bill Thomas.
Exactly.
And
I didn't know what to call it, but you're right.
Noticeably, he was defenseless. He was in the air. He was on the football.
Barely got a foot
down. The defender was not heads up until after he delivered the blow. He did not land it with the crown of his helmet, so I'll give you not a targeting foul, but certainly a defenseless receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, officials are talking it over, but no sympathy for the Blue Devils early on here.
Indeed, there is not. I don't think Leominster, in search of sympathy, they'd just be happy with a game called fairly.
Exactly right.
1st and 10.
Protect our players, too.
At the 48-yard line, step inside the right hash. Leominster needs the Tanner 38-yard line for a 1st down. Shotgun set develops. Lopez looks lost, and Coach Devin Gates says, timeout. Stops the clock, 2:27 to play here in the 1st quarter. Peabody with the 7-0 advantage. So happy to have you along with us here on RFM Audio, wherever you are, across the region or around the globe, streaming via YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch, with our television partners at Leominster TV, on Comcast or Verizon Cable, and with video courtesy of our partners tonight at Peabody TV. Our radio partners in Delay, 95.1 FM, WLPZ FM, or Tucka56radio.com. We are so pleased to support the student athletes and institutions in competition tonight as the legendary soundtrack of football in Central Massachusetts continues right here on RFM Audio. Bill Thomas, if you're enjoying this game in Delay, you can also tune in to 95.1 FM, WLPZ, Leominster's owned and operated, and enjoy great news, information, education, and entertainment for Leominster community members by Leominster community members. It's Leominster's owned and operated, 95.1 FM, WLPZ, and WLPZ.org. And the great staff at WLPZ are always looking for new volunteers to expand their program offerings. For information on how you can get involved, visit WLPZ.org. Out of the timeout, 1st and 10 Leominster from the Tanner 48-yard line. Shotgun formation, snap taken by Lopez, looks out to the left and throws. Pat is caught by Viola coming from the slot, crossing midfield once again on that screen, and noses the football forward to the 46-yard line. An exciting gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, a lot going on right there, but good job holding on to the ball. Tanner's doing a good job of shedding the blocks in front of that play and filling those lanes, holding that to a short gain.
Notice Bill Thomas, Leominster trying to get the football out a lot faster here. They know with these blitzes coming up front, they're not going to have a lot of time for Lopez to hang back in the pocket.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest defenses they've had to face, front four, and they're getting after it.
2nd down and 8 to go. Back to live action, back to pass. The throw for Lopez up the left sideline, looking for Drinkwater, juggled and incomplete. Ball ran out of real estate. Drinkwater was going into the boundary left and was not able to reel that one in.
Fingertips not working for him there.
Perhaps still a slick football. It appears from what we can see on Peabody TV's feed that the rain has stopped out at Veterans Memorial Stadium on the campus of Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. Coach Gates signals in the play. 3rd down and 8 to go. Ball located at the Peabody 46-yard line at left hash. Shotgun set, 3 receivers in the formation. Drinkwater is in one-on-one coverage down at the left boundary. The shotgun snap. Rolling. Lopez throws, and it is picked off. Coming back across the line, it's Vincent O'Hara across his own 45, midfield and taken down at the Leominster 48-yard line. It is the 2nd turnover on the day and the 2nd Leominster drive that ends with an interception, and O'Hara did a great job slipping underneath that pass as we take a look at it again, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, he did. It was almost like he baited Lopez into throwing that. Looked like the intended receiver was Jared Viola. He looked open right to the last second. But Johnny on the spot right there sniffed out.
1:34 to play here in the first quarter. Ball back to Peabody. They mark the football right at midfield as his point of farthest progress on the return, and a great play by O'Hara.
I'm going to say that's probably a product of coaching and awareness, situational awareness. Nice job right there by the Tanners.
4 receivers evenly split shotgun set for the senior Lynch. Peabody with the 7-0 lead, and they got the football back on another Leominster interception. Man checks in motion from right to left. It's Dooley. Back to pass. Lynch looks down the left sideline and throws in stride. The catch is made by Batista. 10-5 touchdown Peabody. 52-yard touchdown strike. Lynch to Batista, and the Blue Devils are shell-shocked. The Tanners up 13-0, 1:26 to play in the first quarter.
That didn't take long. You talk about a fast attack down the field. You know, we knew Peabody knew how to get the ball down the field and scoring bunches, but not wasting any time off of that turnover, converting it with one play.
Dominic Scalise on to attempt the point after, kicking from left to right. Lynch handles the holding for the Tanners. Snap the ball down, and Scalise drives it through. Back upfield come the teams. 1:26 to play here in the first quarter. The score, Peabody 14 and Leominster nothing. Kay Robbins, you've got a very short Peabody drive summary.
I certainly do. One play, took about 5 seconds, a 50-yard touchdown reception by Eli Batista from Shea Lynch. Extra point is good. Tanners up right now, 14-0.
Leominster certainly has not seen anything like this at this point in the season. And Bill Thomas, it's kind of like looking in the mirror and seeing this really strange, warped version of yourself, because this is what Leominster's been doing to teams through 4 weeks.
And that's the first thing I thought when I saw the video of the home game. I was trying to see how we were going to look at our setups, but I really want to see what the teams look like too. And I saw a mirror image of Leominster, and it was really going to fall in the defenses, and no doubt about it, I'm going to go out and pick some of that low-hanging fruit, and they miss Ricky.
Indeed, they do.
He would have been back there in some fashion, either safety or on that corner, and they just got beat deep, and I think that's Ricky's spot, and I think the Tanners know that.
Ricky Encarnacion not available tonight. If you weren't with us just before kickoff, this is per Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates. Quote, Ricky Encarnacion is not available tonight for reasons beyond his or our control. We support him, end quote. Ricky Encarnacion not dressed for Leominster tonight. Kick goes end over end from left to right. It will be returned by Drinkwater from the Leominster 10. Shake and bake across the 20, then the 25, crossing the 30, caught from behind and taken down at the 34-yard line. It's a 29-yard return for the freshman Caden Drinkwater, giving Leominster good field position. But look out, Bill Thomas. I see on my screen there is a flag down on the play at the 26-yard line, and they are pointing toward the Tanners. I can't imagine what the return team could have done. Let's see what the call is.
I'm thinking a couple of players got tangled up in a little extracurricular activity. Who was on top?
If we were in stadium, we would be able to hear clearly a PA microphone, but the signal is holding against the kicking team.
That sounds like two players getting tangled up and somebody not wanting to let the other player up.
And now Coach Mark Betancourt wants to talk to his Eastern Mass officiating crew and find out an explanation for how that went down. Now he's got it. I'll say, Bill Thomas, in all my years, holding called against the kicking team on any kickoff, I mean, that's exceedingly rare. 99.9% of the times it goes against the return team.
You don't see that very often. To count that on one hand in the course of a season. I don't think we've seen it all year.
1st and 10, Leominster at the 44-yard line. 1:14 and counting to play here in the first. First down carry out of the gun for Braden Martin. Bounces it left, cross the 45, and Martin stretches across the 46 to the 47-yard line. He will gain 3, and it's 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, Blue Devils showing a little bit of frustration there coming up off the ball, and still trying to work that ground game. Got to get some ball possession here and try to get some momentum on the Blue Devils side.
Final 48 seconds of quarter number 1. Peabody with the 14-0 advantage on home field on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. 2nd and 7. Hard count for Lopez out of the gun. 3 receivers. He will float out. 2 defenders there. He is wrapped. They have got him by the neck, and now 3 defenders will whip Lopez down on the play. Back across midfield. Back across the Leominster 45 and finished back across the 40 at the 39-yard line.
Don't the officials have whistles that work right there, Todd? I mean, that's just a little
forward progress.
I mean, forward progress, and you let him get whipped around, and 3 more players come in and take him to the ground. I mean, come on, Zebras, pay attention here.
Final 5 seconds of the first quarter, I think, are going to come off the board, and Leominster is going to fix what they can. I was going to say the officials have stopped the clock, but I'm assuming
timeout. It looks like
that is the end of the first quarter.
They're going to run it out.
I think the officials are indicating that the time is unofficial. Peabody TV showing us a replay at this point. We'll get a sense of what's going on here in a matter of moments as we are here tonight on Leominster TV and RFM Audio. Great to have you along with us. 3 zeros now showing on the board on your screen means it is the end of quarter number 1. Through 1 from Peabody tonight. The Tanners on top of the Blue Devils in the battle of the undefeateds. It's 14-0 Peabody on top of Leominster. We head back to RFM HQ. Kate Robbins standing by with your first quarter stats.
All right, if we take a look first at the Leominster Blue Devils right now, that prolific offense not able to score any touchdowns in the first quarter, but 85 yards of offense for Leominster, 67 coming via the pass, 18 coming via the rush. 2 touchdowns for the Tanners, 130 total yards of offense so far in this one, 112 yards coming from their aerial attack, 18 yards rushing for Peabody. The 2 touchdowns that happened in the first quarter come courtesy of the quarterback, Shea Lynch, a 15-yard scamper to Pater there, and then a very quick 50-yard touchdown reception by Eli Batista, putting the Tanners up 14-0 here in the early going.
Indeed, Kate. I said it on the play-by-play call, and as I turned to Bill Thomas after listening to those first quarter stats, I used the phrase shell-shocked. Leominster at this point doesn't look like they know what hit them.
No, but I can't say they weren't prepared, but the Tanners are just a better team in that first quarter, and Leominster are a little outmanned right there. They got to find a way to fill the gaps.
Teams change ends. 1st and 10, Leominster, their own 41-yard line. They'll go left to right. Shotgun, 3 receivers spread. Lopez back to pass, looks to his right and throws. Pass is low and incomplete. The intended receiver was Juan Miranda, and he couldn't dig it up off the turf. But there is a flag down on the play. Captain John Ascabi with the hands of, what are we going to do? And that seems to indicate to me, at least preliminarily, this 10-yard flag is going to be a hold against Leominster.
That's the way they're pointing. Officials talking it over right now, seeing where to begin the march.
And now the official will come over to Coach Mark Betancourt and give him his options. Would he like the result of the 2nd down play, which would lead to 3rd down, or would he like an enforcement and a replay of 2nd down?
Thinking they're going to refuse this, Todd.
They say during the play, as we lip read, it's a personal foul signaled against Leominster. They decline the personal foul signaled against Leominster during the live ball action and take the down, which now shows 4th down and long from the 41-yard line their own, and Leominster will be forced to punt once again.
I think that are they going for this, Todd?
No, Delmar Wright is back in punt formation. The swinging door in front of him, the 3 up men. There's a good snap to Wright, stands at his own 28, gets the punt away, angled toward the sideline as it travels from left to right. It is out of bounds at the Tanner 30-yard line, and a great job by a little utilized punter this year, Delmar Wright, doing a good job to at least flip the field to the Tanner 30-yard line.
I agree, Todd, about a 35-yard punt right there to get the ball downfield and try to stem the tide right here. We got to get another flag.
I was going to say the Peabody TV picks up the officials and reaching for the microphone. This is during the kick. Holding signaled against Peabody. That'll be a 10-yard penalty, so take it deeper from their 35 to their 25 after the enforcement. And Peabody will be in the longer field. They actually mark it back across the 25 to the 20. So it'll be 1st and 10, Peabody, their own 20-yard line, going right to left. Here comes Shea Lynch in the vaunted Tanner offense. Shotgun set, 5 receivers, an empty set with Lynch in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to the left. Lynch takes the snap, underneath throw, pass is caught by Dooley. Dooley is up the hashes, cross the 30, 35, go 40, and he's slung down at the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 22 on the play with the pitch from Lynch to Dooley.
Tanner's doing a great job right there. Lynch just picking the Blue Devils secondary apart across the middle, waiting for the receiver to clear the zone. And I think they're going to have to change something up in the middle here. Blue Devils are not playing good pass defense.
Rolling pocket on 1st and 10 with the 5 receivers wide. Lynch rolls, throws up the right boundary. Sliding catch made and out of bounds there. It's Colin Ridley who makes the catch across midfield. And at the Blue Devil 49-yard line, it's a gain of 10 and another 1st down for the Tanners.
Tanner's doing a great job right there. Just throwing the space. I think Blue Devils are trying to cover this passing game with a soft zone, and Tanner's doing a great job right there, just waiting it out, letting the zones clear.
Lynch audibles here, changes the play, moves the 2 receivers down to the left boundary, single receiver to the right. Now he takes the shotgun snap, and the handoff is for Paulino. Paulino races out across his own 49, back to midfield, and the Blue Devil defense slides over and makes the tackle at midfield. Xavier Cora, the linebacker, leading the way and gets help from his friends. It'll be a loss of 1. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, nice job by Corey there, stringing that out, gets some help, finally gets, Jared Viola and a
ruled no gain on the play to the 49-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Back to pass Lynch, out of the gun, looks left and throws up the left boundary, defended by Aguilar and juggled incomplete. Racing up that right sideline was Danny Barrett. He had a boatload of catches in their game against Beverly, and he wasn't able to reel that one in with nice coverage from Brian Aguilar at the corner spot.
Yeah, good hands right there at the end. Aguilar getting involved in that reception attempt, but really the first challenging down and distance situation the Tanners have been in tonight.
10:43 to play here in the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 10 for the Tanners at the Leominster 49-yard line at left hash as the Peabody drive continues from right to left. Paulino is in the backfield with Lynch. Lynch trying to keep his hands dry, scans the line, and now asks for the football. Back to pass. Hangs in the pocket, up the middle of the field, deflected and intercepted. And here comes Leominster. It's Caden Drinkwater playing the deep center field on the deflection. Drinkwater back across the 45, slides to a stop at the Leominster 47-yard line, and a flag is out on the play. It came during the return. Will they put it against Leominster, or was it a late hit when Drinkwater went into his slide? We'll get that signal in a moment. We see the replay off the deflection.
Trying to see who the receiver looks like. 22.
Yeah, it was Batista.
22 on the end there, but off his fingertips, and this is going against Peabody.
Indeed it is. A 15-yard personal foul tacked in on the end. Brings the ball into Tanner territory. Across the Tanner 40 on the left to right march. Placed down at the Tanner 38-yard line. And this is Leominster's best starting field position and best chance at a score tonight, Bill Thomas.
It certainly is. A nice job by Drinkwater there after that deflection. Bringing the ball up towards midfield, got about 10 yards in that return, but then a little help from the Peabody tacklers, and great field position here for the Blue Devils.
1st and 10, Leominster at the Peabody 38-yard line. Shotgun snap for Lopez. Give it inside. This is Xavier Cora with his first carry on the day. Goes right into the teeth of the first level of the defense and wrestled to a stop after a gain of 1, maybe 2 on the play.
Yeah, I think going back first drive, Todd, it's about where that drive stalled. They were down around the 35. We were speculating field goal or not right there. Turned into that turnover by the interception on 4th down, but Blue Devils got to find a way to take advantage of this foray down into Peabody territory.
Gained 1 on the play. 2nd down and 9 as the clock winds under the 10-minute mark here in the second quarter. Shotgun set, 3 receivers. Lopez back to pass, looks to his left and floats long, and incomplete. He was looking for Drinkwater on that left boundary, and Drinkwater hadn't broke out of his stop and start to the boundary, Bill Thomas, and the pass carried high.
And good thing because Alan Paulino was right there in close coverage, number 24, and he sniffed that out all the way, and if that pass was on target, he was in great position to step in front of it. Nothing but clean carpet down to the end zone.
9:53 to play here in the second quarter. Peabody's 14-0 lead looms large, but here's Leominster on 3rd down and 9. Ball located at the Peabody 37. Back to pass, Lopez out of a gun. Floats his pocket out. Flag is out behind the play. He'll go downfield, wide open. Catch made, Jared Viola. He gets hit to the goal line and in for an key apparent Leominster touchdown, but a flag is out from the umpire in the area of offensive holding.
Couple of flags on the field.
Take Leominster's touchdown off the board. Hold against Leominster.
Nice job right there by Lopez to avoid the pressure, but one of the linemen there get turned around. You end up hooking the defender. Passed for naught.
Leominster's best offensive look of the night is negated by the, Kate will have the official count here. Kate, how many flags is that against Leominster to this point?
For Leominster, that is 4 accepted penalties against Leominster for a total of 40 yards. They've declined 2 major penalties against Leominster, however, as well.
So that would be a total of 6 flags that have gone against Leominster. Here on a 3rd and 22 now. Back to pass, backpedaling. Lopez now looks up left side, now floats down the middle of the field. He was looking for Drinkwater in double coverage, and it lands nowhere in particular. Incomplete, thankfully. 2 safeties downfield were all over Drinkwater.
Yeah, that play, that was more or less just almost like a pass punt right there. Once again from Lopez trying to hit Drinkwater, but it's going to bring on the punt unit here again, try to flip this field position and put the Tanners back in a hole.
Listed as 4th and 22. Oh, wait a minute. Now the umpire has to move the ball back to midfield to get 4th and 22 as they had originally spotted the ball at the Leominster 49. Punt formation here. Delmar right out the swinging door in front of him with 3 blockers as the up men. High snap, floats to right, fields it, and now it is blown up in the backfield. Gutter's there. Hit and down goes Delmar right at the Leominster 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Peabody at the Leominster 40, going right to left, 9:31 before halftime.
Trying to see who the number was that was in there, but I thought it was 32, but I don't see a 32 on the roster. But nonetheless, nice job by the special teams unit for Peabody, getting in there. Delmar Wright just, fielding that high snap, just not getting down in time and having an opportunity to get that punt away.
14-0 Peabody's advantage, 9:31 to play in the second quarter. Peabody takes over, going right to left at the Leominster 40-yard line at left hash. 4 receivers split out in the formation, 2 in either direction. In the backfield, it's Paulino with the senior veteran Lynch. Hard count, and on 1st and 10, Lynch calmly into this 3-step drop. Now he'll tuck and run up the left side as he's pushed out of the pocket, tiptoes the sideline, cross the 35 and out of bounds at the Tanner 30-yard line. It's a gain of 10 on the play, should be, and it is a Peabody first down.
Nice veteran move right there, though. You notice how he tucked it. As soon as he made up the decision to run, Todd, tucked it away from the defenders to his outside arm. Nice veteran move right there by the senior.
Indeed. 1st and 10 for the Tanners at the Leominster 30-yard line at left hash. Shotgun spread. 4 receivers evenly split in the formation. Paulino in the backfield with Lynch. He asks for the ball. Got time. Looks left and throws. It's a wobbler. It may have been deflected. Crossing the line. It is incomplete. Danny Barrett was the intended receiver. Brian Aguilar there in coverage, but the pass never quite made it.
Nope, trying to see which one of those on-rushing linemen might have got in there, but nonetheless, nice job by the front three. Looks like Blue Devils are running a 3-3-3, a 3-4, kind of a little different, trying to get a little more protection into the passing zones, but only rushing 3 linemen tonight, mixing it up with a linebacker, but the 3 Russian linemen doing a good job trying to get pressure on Lynch. Did so that time.
Thus far, they've been getting picked apart deep. Blitz coming, 3-man rush. They allow the screen to develop. The flip out of the backfield for Paulino. Paulino shifty, loses the defender across the 20, 15, go 10, end zone, touchdown, Alan Paulino, and the Peabody lead expands.
He's not too happy, though. It looks like the play's coming back, Todd. Do we get a flag somewhere here? He's shaking his head, and they're not going down there.
Indeed they are not, and there's the flag as they pan back from left to right.
Help us out here, PTV. Couple of flags on the field.
I was going to say there's one coming off the Leominster sideline. There's one in sort of the middle of the field around the left hash. And there's a meeting of the minds wearing stripes standing down around the 20-yard line. While they sort things out, tonight's broadcast of high school football on RFM Audio will be rebroadcast in its entirety with our partner, Tucka 56 Radio. Navigate your way to live365.com and bookmark Tucka 56 Radio for a weekly encore presentation of tonight's complete broadcast, beginning each Sunday at noon, plus Wednesdays at 8 p.m., RFM's Coach's Corner with head coach Devin Gates, all with our partner, Dick Tucka and Tucka56Radio.com.
Well, the conference has gone from 3 officials to 2. I think it's really a spot foul, just trying to figure out which foul is the enforceable one. I'm going to guess. Here we go.
Officials will walk back. Here comes the signal. In the progress of the play, holding, signaled against Leominster. Signaled against Peabody.
Personal foul.
After the play was over, personal foul, signaled against Leominster.
So it's a dead.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, signaled against Peabody. So you have offsetting dead ball fouls, 2 for extracurricular activities. They all offset.
No touchdown.
And they are replaying first down.
Go back to where we were 20 minutes ago. Wow.
So clearly there is a lot going on outside of the camera's view as far as extracurricular activities go down on the field. The officials trying to kind of corral that activity by going with offsetting personal fouls, but it also offsets the hold against Peabody.
Yeah, they're not done talking yet. Peabody's ready to go, but all right, we're back to game.
So it's a 1st and 10 for Peabody, located at the Leominster 28-yard line at left hash. Shotgun split, 4 receivers evenly developed. And now Lynch asks for the ball. 5-step drop, pushed out of the pocket. Steps up, though, toward the line and throws. Incomplete, says the official on the sideline. Jace Dooley from the tight end spot was the intended receiver.
Official right there, though. Didn't waste any time. Low throw. Good job, though. Tried to throw it only where the receiver could get it.
Pass incomplete, stops the clock. 9:02 to play in the second quarter. And it will be a 3rd down and 10 to go. The official had signaled they were going to replay first down, but it was a replay of second down. So the incompletion now makes it 3rd down, and it's 3rd down and 10 for the Tanners at the Leominster 28-yard line at left hash. Shotgun, Four receivers split. Paulino in the backfield with Lynch. Now make it trips out to the wide side right. Lynch the snap. He will drift out across the 35, throw toward the 20. Pass is caught by Colin Ridley and out of bounds. Give him a tough spot there at the 21-yard line. It's a gain of 9. It'll bring up 4th and a yard.
I think he lost his place there, and it's decision time here. I'm guessing that PB's probably going to go for this, the way they've been moving the ball. But, yeah, receiver just lost his spot there by a yard. No reason not to be downfield another yard. Could have moved the chains on that play.
4th and a full yard as we pass the 8.5-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-0 Peabody's advantage. Ball located at the Leominster 21-yard line at right hash. Right to left continues the drive for the Tanners for the moment. And they are going to go for it here. Walking to the line, Lynch up under center. The center was moving before he snapped the football. Now Lynch dives forward to the 19-yard line, and they will call that a first down. Nobody else moved on the play.
Well, you got to snap the ball. It doesn't mean you got to block, right? I'd like to see that one again, but looks like a little center quarterback action, and those are the only two people that need to know in that short yardage situation. Catch everybody off guard. Worked to perfection for Peabody right there. It didn't look very pretty, but it did move the chains, Todd.
At the Leominster 19-yard line, the Tanner drive continues. 1st and 10 at the Leominster 19 at right hash. Right to left continues the movement. Lynch in the backfield with Paulino. Trip set up to the left of the formation. Scanning the line is Lynch. Hard count. Here comes another. He asks for the ball. Back to pass. Looks. Slot come back. Complete for Batista. Batista loses a defender across the 20 and skids to a stop around the 17-yard line. That will gain 2 on the play and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Did a good job eluding Cora there, but Jared Viola, once he got his grips on him, he wasn't letting him go. Nice tackle right there.
Coming up at the half, Kate Robbins is standing by back at RFM HQ. She's got a full stat recap from half number 1, plus scores from around the region on the halftime scoreboard. We'll have our impact player, mid-game adjustments, and more coming up at the half here from the studios of Leominster TV tonight. 6:50 and counting to play here in the second quarter. 2nd down and 8 to go for the Tanners. Snapping from the Leominster 17. Back to pass. It's Lynch. Looks left and throws. Juggled and incomplete. And a flag is deposited at the feet of Brian Aguilar. And that's going to be called pass interference. And it'll be a 15-yard penalty.
Looked like some hand fighting going on there when the ball arrived, but didn't get a really good look at it. See if PTV will help us out here with a replay.
Seemed like Aguilar was there, kind of acting as a shadow near the receiver and made the contact. They're going to say a shade early before the ball arrives. It's pass interference against Leominster. And a first down results for Peabody. 1st and 10 for for Peabody at the Leominster 8-yard line at left hash. Shotgun spread. 3 receivers out to the right of the formation. Lynch standing in the backfield with Pinto. Give it to Pinto this time. Takes it up left hash. Forward he goes, across the 10 to the 5. And it will set up a 2nd down and goal to go from the Leominster 5-yard line.
Game about 3 on that, Todd.
6:20 and counting to play here in the second quarter. Peabody looking to add to their 14-0 advantage.
Peabody in no hurry here either. Clock is their friend, even though second quarter. I tell you, it's been a long first half, Todd. A lot of passing. And
about 55 minutes of actual time has transpired in a 24-minute half. Shotgun set, 3 receivers in the formation, 2 out to the right. Pinto in the backfield with Lynch. Lynch asks for the ball. Fake the give on the play action. Looks to the right and throws. Pass is hanging out there. Lynch has not thrown. He hung on to the football. He scampers up across the 10, the 5, and steps out of bounds at the 3-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and goal to go from the 3. Gains 2 on the play. That play action certainly caused a bite hard.
On the cameraman.
Indeed it did.
The cameraman's bit more than once tonight.
Bradley is sitting back in master control going, boy, I'm glad it ain't me.
He's laughing. He's like, come on, dude.
Hey, we thank our friends at Peabody TV for providing the video tonight. And I know Bradley, although giggling, is saying, I feel you. It has been a great play. That was a hard fake, and Lynch bounced it out to the right expertly and then advanced the football across the 5 to the 3-yard line.
And I think he thought the cameraman then tried to follow what was a fake pass, too, back into the end zone. Lynch never gave the ball up.
Indeed, he didn't. 3rd down and goal to go from the Leominster 3-yard line at right hash. Man checks in motion from right to left. Wraps it through the backfield. Now Lynch facing a blitz. Little option out. Gets it in the hands of Paulino. Paulino avoids one defender. Second effort to the goal line and in for the Tanner touchdown.
Ends up dragging Cora with him into the end zone. But, yeah, a little different look right there. Putting that man in motion to the odd side, but then going to the short side, taking advantage of that and scoring himself 6 points here.
5:37 to play here in the second quarter. And Peabody on top of Leominster by a 20-0 score.
Sellout crowd at the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School Stadium tonight, it looks like, and enjoying this first half.
Scalise kicking from right to left. Lynch holds, kicking for the first time in this direction, and he authoritatively drives the ball through. Back upfield come the teams. 5:37 before halftime. Peabody, 3 unanswered scores. It's 21-0 over Leominster here in first half action. Kate Robbins back at HQ. She's got your drive summary for the Tanners.
Another quick work of this one. 10 plays in 4 minutes of game clock. It results in the 3-yard touchdown rush by Alan Paulino. As Todd said, 21 unanswered points right now. Tanners on top of Leominster with 5:38 remaining in the first half.
Indeed, Kate. Thank you so much.
Very efficient. Tanners, everything we expected. We're hoping for a little more out of Leominster, but still another half to play.
Leominster certainly is going to need to re-corral the troops at halftime. Yeah, maybe now, Bill Thomas. They started with the football, so they're giving it up after halftime.
Because the last thing you want to do is give Peabody any time in the clock in, another chance to tack on a score. And, you know, the last thing we want to see is running clock. I don't care who it is, who we're against, who we're playing. Just running clock is not the way to go for anybody. Well, we're borderline merging to that situation right now.
Scalise bangs this one long and deep. It hops at the Leominster 3-yard line and rolls through the back of the end zone. It will be a touchback. Ball will come out to the Leominster 20-yard line.
Kid's got a 70-yard leg.
Very impressive. Very impressive first half for Scalise with the kicking game.
All right, Blue Devils trying to find some magic here and find a way to put some points on the board before halftime.
Tonight's broadcast of high school football and RFM audio will be rebroadcast via our partners at 95.1 FM WLPZ. Set your dial to 95.1 FM for a weekly encore presentation of tonight's complete broadcast, beginning each Saturday at noon. On first down and 10 from their own 20, Braden Martin gets the first down carry. He finds some room up the right hash across the 20 and battles his way out to the 25-yard line. Gains 5, second down and 5.
Blue Devils continue to stay on the ground. They've had some success. Just haven't been able to put anything together.
5:15 and counting to play here in the second quarter. Second down and 5 from the Leominster. No, make it second and 6 from the Leominster 24. Shotgun, 3 receivers set. Lopez back to pass, throws, and gets it into the hands of Brian Aguilar. He crosses the 30, and he's spun down at the 35. It's a gain of 11.
Nice job right there, fingertip catch. Aguilar just got turned around to the inside in time.
High snap, didn't have time, Bill Thomas, to get that fake on the play action, but he was able to make the quick strike, find Aguilar, and once again, Leominster now trying to matriculate the football down the field. 4:44 and counting before halftime. First and 10 at their own 35-yard line at right hash, coming left to right. The shotgun snap, Drinkwater back to pass, launches this time left downfield, and it is an interception. Alan Paulino takes it away from Jared Viola, and it is Tanner football.
We didn't get to see it, but I had that feeling. It had that look of an interception. Lopez just kind of lofting it up there.
Well, he drifted to his back foot there, Bill Thomas, and a great job by Paulino. Get up underneath. double coverage again, and it seems like all night long here in the first half, Leominster has been throwing into double coverage.
And I think Lopez throwing off his back foot. He's losing 3 or 4 yards on that throw downfield and ends up short. And that's where the underneath guy in that double coverage is taking advantage of it.
Indeed, and it has been a tough first half if you are Leominster. And preview of your mid-game adjustments, Bill Thomas. I mean, we've said it before. You know, there's no one play for 21 points or more. So it's got to be each time you touch the ball, you got to try to advance it.
Yeah, you got to just try to win every play and take it from there. We'll have to see what happens here. But you're right, Tanner's going to get the ball to start the second half.
First and 10, Tanner's their own 38-yard line. Lynch with the hard roll out, looks up the right sideline and throws. Pass is caught. Great catch made there, contested by Colin Ridley, and Jared Viola makes the finish on the tackle.
Yeah, Ridley wanted to have a few words with him afterwards. Another player stepped in and deflected his intentions. Probably for the better.
Lynch's pass wobbled, but it did a nice job to get into the second level. He floated it over the head of Keegan Amarasinga. 4:13 and counting to play here in the second quarter. First and 10 for the Tanners. The Leominster 42-yard line. Empty set. Shotgun snap, roll out, Lynch throws on the little drag route. Pass is complete across the Leominster 35 and down around the Leominster 30. Getting up, it looks like it was Jace Dooley with the catch.
Trying to get you
Conversation continues there. Might have been Colin Ridley with the catch.
Just I was about to get the number. They switched to a couple of kids playing. It went for 12.
And there are multiple fouls on the play.
Yeah.
When you see an official missing a hat there, it is for a receiver that went out of bounds, not for a flag in that case. So while they promote a good cause on PTV, we welcome you back inside the studio. We will hopefully find out what that flag is. I'm assuming it is for a receiver that went out of bounds. Now returning back to the live video, they did mark the Tanners back.
Some kind of block in the back.
Yeah, that looked like a block in the back was signal, which is interesting. So that means the official, if he took his hat off there, either had two flags or he did have a receiver that went out of bounds, came back in, and also had a flag for a block in the back.
He wasn't involved there, but he was ready for it. He had marked it indicating there was a problem.
So it'll be a 1st and 8 after they enforce the foul from its spot. On first down, the throw coming from the right, complete in the hands of Colin Ridley. Ridley crosses the 25-yard line, and he's down around the Leominster 24.
Nice play right there, pitch and catch.
Pass may have been deflected. Nice job by Lynch to thread the needle and gain 20 on that one.
Tell you, they got those little slants and crossing routes over the middle down to perfection. Peabody's really worked on that and using it to their advantage tonight, and the Blue Devils have no answer underneath.
3:18 to play here in the second quarter. It's an empty set, 5 receivers, trips at the right, back to pass. It's Lynch on 1st and 10, chooses the underneath. Pass is caught across the 15 at the 10 and down. Nice catch made there by Eli Batista, and a gain of 14 and a Tanner first down.
Trying to see where the spot is. Pretty close to the 10-yard line, Todd.
Bill Thomas, right now, if you are wearing a Leominster jersey, you feel like you're watching a game on Saturday, and meanwhile you're playing on Friday, as Lynch just stands back in the pocket and watches his option and goes, I'll take that one, and just threads the needle to him.
He is picking them apart, and yeah, they're going to be spotted right at the 10, Todd. It's going to bring up 1st and goal. Tanner's doing a great job moving the ball down the field here in the second quarter as the half's winding down.
1st and goal from the Leominster 10. Back to pass, it's Lynch. Gets a block. Drifts out, keeping the play alive. Josh Cormier, the linebacker, misses the swipe at him, and up a wide open sideline, untouched. Shea Lynch, his 2nd touchdown scamper on the day, and the route is on here in the first half.
Did a good job keeping that play alive, but really the best thing he did there was keeps his head up, and he keeps the Blue Devil defenders honest. Had to stay with their potential receivers, and Lynch just worked it right into the corner of the end zone.
2:28 before halftime, and Peabody has the 27-0 advantage over Leominster. Point after pending. Scalise on to attempt the point after. Lynch will hold, kicking from right to left here. Snap, ball down. Scalise with the one-step swing of the right leg and drives it through. Back upfield come the teams. 2:28 to play in the second quarter. It's Peabody 28-0 with unanswered offense by the Blue Devils. Kate Robbins standing back at RFM HQ. She's got your stats for you.
Take a look at that drive. It only took about 6 plays, covered 62 total yards in 2 minutes of game clock. It's capped off by the 10-yard touchdown quarterback keeper by Shea Lynch. Right now, the Tanners with 283 total yards of offense just in the first half.
Oh, my goodness.
I agree. Speechless.
Certainly, they threw, Lynch that is, for 300 yards in their game total last week against Marblehead, a strong Magicians team. This is incredible.
And I think Lynch is just showing how talented he is, whether he's using his arm or his feet, his legs, making all the right decisions. Let's add in the brain there. He's got all 3 phases of the game working for him tonight.
Indeed he does. Ball back on the tee, 40-yard line at our right. Scalise will march off the distance. Drinkwater back to return for Leominster in lieu of Ricky Encarnacion. On the approach, kick is away by Scalise. And it will be returned by Drinkwater, who makes the catch and now begins his return from his own goal line. 5, go 10, maybe the 15, wrapped down at what looks like the 16-yard line.
And I think he's having second thoughts about whether he should have caught that or not. But, you know, maybe a freshman mistake right there, but trying to make something happen. You can't really blame him. Trying to take that out here as the half winds down. Really wanting to turn the tide right here and get some momentum.
Had a lot of open field in front of him and maybe some blocks, but like you said, Bill Thomas, maybe just trying a little too hard to make a play. 1st and 10 for Leominster. They officially mark it at the Leominster 17-yard line, middle of the field. Left to right come the Blue Devils, 2:22 before halftime. Lopez, shotgun set, trips to the wide left of the formation. Martin in the backfield with him. Snap. Lopez, a little bit of time, now flushed out to his right. He's going to tuck the ball and run. Cross the 20, he skidded as he headed toward the 24-yard line, and the flag is up at the end of the play, and Lopez, who was slow to get up, now pops up on the play, and he may have been the victim of a late hit.
Yeah, they kind of got a little too aggressive there over at the sideline, kept piling in on him. Trailing official right on it.
Hey, how about the slap of hands, though, by the defensive back? Jace Jean-Pierre gives the little tap to Lopez for a nice play, avoiding the defensive rush, and then taking that hit out of bounds. It's a personal foul for a late hit signaled against the Tanners. Add 15 to the end of that run for Lopez. Moves the ball up to the Leominster 40-yard line at right hash.
Keeps the drive alive.
How important, Bill Thomas, is a score before halftime?
Absolutely. Just not giving the ball back to the Tanners. Never mind scoring, but the last thing you want to do is give them another opportunity. You know, they get their hands on the ball, they're not going to waste any time.
First down play. Pass thrown incomplete from what we can tell. Juan Miranda was the intended receiver for Leominster. Brings up a 2nd down and 10.
Didn't get much of that, but didn't go Leominster's way, that's for sure.
So the ball goes back to the Leominster 40-yard line at right hash for 2nd down and 10.
Clock stopped here on the incomplete pass.
2:10 to play before halftime. Remember, coming up at the half, Kate Robbins is standing by with your first half stats. You got a preview. They are astronomical for Tanner offense. Plus, she's got scores from elsewhere around the region on a busy night, all across Massachusetts tonight. High snap, fielded on 2nd down and 10. Give it to Braden Martin. Martin gets in past the first level of the defense, now into the 2nd level in open space. Crosses midfield toward the 45 of the Tanners. He's wrapped and taken down. Gains 15 for Leominster, and it's a 1st and 10 with the clock running, under 2 minutes and counting.
Nice job by Martin there, finding some open space up the middle.
3 receivers set out of the gun. Lopez back to pass. Flushed. Trying to improvise. He tucks. Lays one defender. Crosses the 45. Wrapped and taken down around the 42-yard line.
Jose Lenda, good job on the chase right there, coming from his cornerback position.
97 seconds and counting before halftime. Lopez working without a huddle here. Going quickly. Martin in the backfield. 4 receivers in the formation. Trips at the left. Snap, gets to Lopez, gets some blocking, looks over the middle of the field and throws, and it is an interception! The 3rd of the first half. It's Jace Dooley, his 2nd in the first half, and he's on his return from right to left. He's across midfield. It is pick 6 for Jace Dooley.
What a turn of events right there, and that's when it becomes dangerous, trying to force the play downfield. Halftime's approaching, you're trying to get something, and it goes the other way.
1:14 before halftime.
Trying to see where that pick six took place. I'm going to guess somewhere around the 30, 35-yard line of the Tanners, looking for a replay here, but what a big play.
1:14 before halftime. And now, as I said, they have not changed the score in the stadium, so we're waiting for an update on that. Crew chief runs over to head coach Devin Gates. They're having a conversation. I have to presume, is there a flag out on the play? Could negate a pretty play.
I think the official's getting tired, Todd.
During the play, we have unsportsmanlike conduct. Signaled against the Tanner bench. It doesn't matter. It turns into a sideline warning.
Get back foul.
And the touchdown will stand. 34-0. Peabody on top of Leominster. 1:14 before halftime.
My only comment there, Todd, is how do the officials have time to look over at the sideline when all of that's going on it? In return, going 65 yards the other way. Officials got time to worry about what's going on sideline.
Scalise's kick is up and through, and the teams come back up the field. 1:14 to play here in the second. 35-0. Peabody's commanding first half lead. The only answer I have for you, Bill Thomas, on that would be likely the official who was breaking up that left sideline collided with somebody.
Hip check them.
And I've told you before, this led to a Texas lawsuit with an official that ended up paralyzed running into a sideline member. Steve Diaz was the intended receiver for that Lopez pass.
On the pick six, Todd.
And wow, Jace Dooley has been the right man in the right spot for Peabody.
Talk about putting a little bow on the end of the first half. And the first half's not even over yet, Todd. Leominster definitely is in trouble in the first half, let's just say. No pretty way to say it. However, still a second half of football to play. And if you're a coach, you know you're coaching. You want to win the second half. Let's put the first half behind us.
If you can do it in the first half on one sideline, in theory the second half, the other sideline can turn about is fair play.
Let's put that half behind us and win this next series of downs in the next quarter.
Ball is on the tee. After what appears the enforcement
back to the 25.
Was an unsportsmanlike conduct, so they enforced it on the ensuing kickoff. The ball's at the 25-yard line at our right. Kick is away, still pounded downfield by Scalise. Fielded with one hand at the Leominster 10. It's Drinkwater on his return. Wrapped in this case by Paulino and rode down across the Leominster 15 at the 17-yard line. It's a 7-yard return for Drinkwater, and conversation ensues, and great job by Keegan Amarasinga to grab his teammate and say, we don't have time for that, and take him away from a potential follow-up flag.
Good job right there by teammates, looking out for other teammates here. Drinkwater got spun around there at the end. Seeing a replay of it here.
Great one-handed play with the right hand by the freshman Drinkwater. Got back what he could on the play. Seen that move in the ice capades, Bill Thomas, but other than that, not typically on a football field.
A little pirouette right there, and but another Tanner defender came in kind of high. Drinkwater a little frustrated at this point in the game.
1st and 10 for Leominster at the 17-yard line, their own, going left to right. 1:05 to play before halftime. Lopez, the pass, unloads, left sideline, diving attempt by Aguilar. A flag is out on the play. Vincent O'Hara was in coverage for the Tanners, and does the back judge have a pass interference call? That is the question. Or are they going to call Aguilar for cutting the feet out of O'Hara when O'Hara was in better position to catch the ball? Flag pending.
Looks like they're going to mark this against Leominster, the way the body language is indicating, but
holding signaled
like
against
the Tanners. But it's a spot. It's a line of scrimmage foul. It's not a spot foul.
It was a defensive holding call.
Hold.
So they held up Aguilar coming out of his break, is what I'm assuming is the result of the call. Aguilar's down on the right sideline here as we look at a replay. And there it is, a full handful of jersey for O'Hara.
Pass interference right
and
there.
the back judge calls him for the hold, which is the call correct. Go back to the previous spot, enforce the penalty. It brings the ball across the Leominster 25 to the 27-yard line, a 10-yard penalty.
Fresh set of downs here.
On 1st and 10, back to pass, Lopez. Steps up to the line of scrimmage, flips a pass complete with some room. It's Braden Martin out of backfield. He scampers his way down the left sideline, makes his way toward midfield and across midfield and out of bounds at the Tanner 49-yard line. Great job by Lopez. Recognize what the defense is giving you and flip it out to Braden Martin.
Yeah, he was really close to the line of scrimmage. Official right there watching it, and pickup of about 35 yards there, all said and done, Todd. Nice little pitch and catch.
Got it away, a forward pass before he crossed the line of scrimmage, and then Martin just scampered with space across midfield. And take what the defense is giving you might have to be the mantra for the second half.
Well, you know they're covering deep. They're trying to keep everything under them. So nice job right there. Lopez just got to take what the defense is going to give me. You're not going to get 35 points in one play. You know that as well as I do, Todd. So, hey, we want 6 right here going into the locker room, something to talk about.
Certainly makes the difference. Leominster clearly spent the timeout, so the pass must have been ruled inbounds.
It looked like Martin was trying to work his way up the sideline there and then never got his way out of bounds. He got tackled inbounds.
Final 48 seconds before halftime. Peabody with the commanding 35-0 lead over Leominster in this battle of unbeatens, the battle of geography, Central versus East. And right now it has been all East.
They've showed that they're a strength in Division II, and but this isn't the end of Leominster season by no means, and these two teams could very well match up again in the future.
This is what a top 5 program looks like in your division. You now have a very clear answer as to what a top 5 team in your division looks like.
How you match up and what to expect going forward. And if you're going to have one of these games, this is the time of the season to get it out of the way. Really build on it.
Kate Robbins tells us 70 yards of accepted penalties against Leominster in the first half. She'll have more on that coming up at halftime. 1st and 10, Leominster from the 48-yard line of the Tanners. Lopez improvises, slides to the left and throws. Pass is caught across the 35 at the 34-yard line for who else? Caden Drinkwater. It's a gain of 12 on the play and a Leominster first down. Clock running in the middle of the field, 35 seconds and counting. Leominster, no huddle, scampers, snaps. Stepping up in the pocket again, this is Lopez. He'll take what he can get out to the left. Cross the 30 and out of bounds, shy of the 25 at the 26-yard line. Nice job by the freshman quarterback. Get 7 more and stop the clock 27 seconds before halftime.
Good job getting out of bounds right there. Situational awareness.
Preserves the timeout.
The deepest penetration into Tanner's territory that the Blue Devils have had tonight. Really got to make this drive pay off here going into the locker room.
2nd down, 3 to go. Ball is at the Tanner 27-yard line at left hash. Shotgun formation sets up, trips to the wide side right. Looks like Aguilar is one-on-one into the boundary left. Here's the snap. And Lopez back to pass over the middle. Pass is caught for Juan Miranda across the 20. Angle to the 15 and out of bounds at the Tanner 10-yard line. Stopping the clock 21 seconds before halftime.
Nice job working that crossing route right there. And we've seen a lot of that the first 4 games, but not a lot of that tonight. Lopez continues to try to go downfield repeatedly, but nice crossing pattern there. We got it under the defenders. Move the sticks. Stop the clock.
And so coming to the line, Leominster looking to stem the tide before halftime. Give them something positive to talk about in the locker room. 1st and 10 from the Tanner 10. Back to pass, looking Lopez for Braden Martin out of the backfield, and he couldn't reel it in. 2nd down and goal to go from the Tanner 10.
Nice little swing pass there, but Martin just, I think he heard some footsteps, tried to look for it, see where his the defenders were just as the ball reached his hands and slipped through him.
Incompletion stops the clock. 18 ticks left before halftime. 4 receivers split evenly on a pair on either side. Martin is in the backfield with Lopez. There was a flinch by Miranda, and whistles will kill the play. Miranda almost looked like a track athlete, went down into almost a 3-point starting block, and that is going to be a false start. 5 yards will go against Leominster. It'll be still 2nd down and goal to go, but it'll be 2nd and go longer. Ball back to the 15-yard line.
Definite momentum killer right there, but time for a couple of plays.
75 yards of enforced penalties against Leominster in the first half.
Blue Devils are playing off first goal to go here, so no first down to be made. Plenty of clock here, sneak in a couple of plays.
4 receivers evenly split. Hard count. Lopez back to pass. Drifts left. Looks over middle of the field. Pass caught underneath at the 5. Nice catch made there. It's Juan Miranda again. The sophomore having a great night.
Gets up calling timeout. Good situational awareness.
Stops the clock 10 seconds before halftime. And Leominster will face a 3rd down and goal to go at the Tanner 5-yard line. Juan Miranda, 5'9", 160-pound sophomore, who all of a sudden makes an appearance with his first catch against Shepherd Hill last week, Bill Thomas. And you heard Coach Devin Yates talk about it in the Coach's Corner this week. Miranda had been showing big in practice, got his chance, makes 1 catch on the season last week, and it's for a touchdown. Now all of a sudden he adds more to his total tonight.
Hey, yeah, good for 10 right there, and comes up calling timeout. Good situational awareness right there, and really giving the Blue Devils an honest chance of 2 more plays right here to get something on the board here as the second quarter winds down.
Coming up at the half, Kate Robbins complete first half stats and scores from around the region after we take a quick timeout. Bill Thomas, you're going to anchor things here for a moment from back in studio. I'm going to step out to the locker room, check on things with Bradley in the control room, our own locker room here at halftime, back here in the studios of Leominster TV.
Come back with a hot dog, some popcorn.
Concession stand closed here at the offices of Leominster TV tonight.
I think I saw a microwave in the back.
3rd down and goal to go from the 5-yard line. Shotgun snap. Lopez now steps up in the pocket, tucks, runs, across the 5, reach for the end zone, and in for a Leominster touchdown 4 seconds before halftime. A perfectly executed 2-minute offense by Leominster to get 6 points on the board before heading to the locker room.
I couldn't agree more, Todd. I mean, exactly what the Blue Devils needed. Yeah, it's still, a 4-touchdown game, but get something on the board, get some momentum, and put up a stop here coming out of the locker room to start the second half. And hey, they put 35 up. We can answer in the second half, and that's what the coaches are going to be saying.
Leominster kicks from left to right. The thumbs up from Dan Thompson to try the point after for Aguilar. The snap, the ball down. Thompson with good lift, splits the bar, and back up the field come the teams. 4 seconds before the half. It's Peabody 35 and Leominster 7. Kate Robbins, you've got that 2-minute offense scoring drive. We'll get back to Kate Robbins at halftime. These things happen. Lots of moving pieces here.
All right, I got the scoring drive. Leominster went from one end of the field to the other.
Covered a lot of ground.
Started
at their own 17-yard line, Bill Thomas.
So 83-yard drive, about 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And found a way to put 7 on the board with that 5-yard rush by Cyrus Lopez.
Feels like it might have been the most important 7 points of this season.
Might be his most important 5 yards that he's going to rush just to stem the tide of what they've been steamrolled here in this first half.
And if you go in, to the locker room down 35-0, it's hard to build on that with any momentum.
Right,
you got
nothing
to
to talk about. Nothing about that. Definitely something to talk about. And coaches will be positive all the way for sure.
That one with a great skid off the foot of Thompson, kicking from left to right, hops around the 40. It expires the clock as it is fallen on by Alex Silva. And we've got halftime out in Peabody tonight. Veterans Memorial Field on the campus of Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. And as we welcome you back into the studios of Leominster TV, Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins is back at RFM HQ, and we'll tap back in to Studio P coming up in a matter of moments. But the important note thus far, first half, Battle of the Unbeatens, Eastern Mass versus Central, mostly East, 35-7. But that's a big difference, Bill Thomas, when I was saying just a little while ago, all East in the first half. Leominster has gotten on the board. They've scored 35-7 in halftime. Could look worse.
Oh, 35-7 sounds a lot better than 35-zip for sure. And, like we were saying here as the half was winding down, gives the Leominster coaches something to build on, something to talk about. They got to make some, no doubt about it, some adjustments on defense and find a way to stop that underneath passing game that the Peabody Tanners have ran so well. I mean, Lynch is just he's making every right decision, whether it's with his arm or with his feet. But the Blue Devil coach has definitely got something to talk about, something to build on, and let's go out there and win that third quarter, and then who knows what happens in the fourth.
And then you see where you're at. 35-7, Peabody on top of Leominster at the half. We step aside here on RFM Audio and Leominster TV. A break, and when we come back, Kate Robbins is standing by at RFM HQ to bring you the scores from around the region and first half stats from this one. Halftime score, Peabody on top of Leominster, 35-7. So much more to come. You stick and stay with us. This is high school football on RFM Audio.
I'll never forget the day I decided to go out for the football team. Mr. Banks, the JV football coach and my history teacher, asked me to stay after class. I thought I was in trouble. He said, "Hey, Darius, have you thought about going out for football? I think you'd be great." Fact is, I never played football. Fact is, I never had anyone tell me I'd be great at something. So, with no experience at all, I signed up. And a week later, I padded up and was running drills on the field. I never was great, but playing high school sports was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I was accepted by my teammates, and I learned that when someone believes in you, you can believe in yourself.
Encourage a student you know to take part in a high school sport. This message presented by the MIAA and the Massachusetts Secondary Schools Athletic Directors Association.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Is there a student athlete at your school that deserves recognition? Someone who's constantly representing your school as a good citizen and should be acknowledged. Now is your chance to nominate a student athlete for the MIAA Student Athlete of the Month Award. This award is presented monthly to 2 student athletes who display excellence in the areas of academics, athletics, and community service. Students in grades 9 through 12 who attend MIAA member schools are eligible to receive the award. Visit the MIAA website at miaa.net to nominate a student athlete today. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through educational athletics.
This is Bob Sosi, the voice of New England football, for the best high school football action in North Central Mass, featuring our award-winning broadcast team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins. Keep it right here.
halftime here on RFM Audio. 35-7, Peabody on top of Leominster at the half. And Kate Robbins has been patiently standing by back at RFM HQ. She's got your first half stats and scores from around the region. Kate.
All right. Sorry about that last one. I unmuted the TV and not the phone. And so I was most decidedly not there for both of you. I unmuted the wrong item.
Don't worry about it.
Here we go. Let's take a look at the statistics. Team totals first right now for the Tanners of Peabody. 283 total yards of offense, 205 of them coming courtesy of their passing game. 78 yards on the ground and 32 plays on offense. They do have one turnover. For the Blue Devils, 212 total yards of offense, 150 coming courtesy of their passing game, 62 coming from their ground and pound game, and 38 plays on offense, but 3 turnovers for the Blue Devils. Bill Thomas, some other notable items with regard to team totals. Right now, you guys got the text message that said Leominster had 75 yards of penalties against them. But what neither of you saw was before that I put, and Peabody 110 yards of accepted penalties thus far in the game. So 110 yards in penalties for Peabody, 75 for Leominster, and those are only the ones that have been accepted, not the declined, just the accepted. If we take a look at the individual notable statistics, let's first start on Leominster's side of the ball. Osiris Lopez, 9 of 16 passing, 150 yards total. He's averaging 16.7 yards per pitch and catch. He's completed 56% of his passes to 5 separate receivers. Brian Aguilar, 3 receptions, totaling 30 yards. Jared Viola, 1 reception. Caden Drinkwater, 2 receptions for 58 yards. Braden Martin, a reception for 35. Juan Miranda, 2 receptions for 25 yards. If we take a look at the rushing attack, Makai Newton, 3 rushes. Braden Martin, 6 rushes for 28 yards. And Xavier Cora had a rush in there as well. The lone touchdown for Leominster came courtesy of Osiris Lopez. It was a 5-yard touchdown rush with just 4 seconds remaining in the half. A very nice job running the 2-minute offense to make sure that they got on the scoreboard prior to halftime. Now, if we switch gears to the high-powered offense of Peabody, if we take a look at their individual statistics, Shea Lynch from the quarterback position, 12 of 17 passing for 205 yards. He's completed 71% of his passes to 3 separate receivers. J.C. Dooley has 2 receptions on the night. Colin Ridley has 6 receptions for 85 yards on the night. Eli Batista has 4 receptions for 80 yards on the evening. Shea Lynch has been doing most of the rushing for the Tanners, 6 rushes for 43 yards. Alan Paulino has also rushed the ball 3 times for 32 yards. But if we take a look at the scoring summaries, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter for Peabody, a 15-yard touchdown rush by the quarterback, Shea Lynch, and a 50-yard touchdown reception by Eli Batista. In the second quarter, 3 touchdowns for the Tanners, 1 coming with 5:38 remaining. It was a 3-yard touchdown rush by Alan Paulino, followed up by a 10-yard touchdown rush by Shea Lynch just 2 minutes later. And then with 1:14 remaining in the half, they had the pick 6, 65-yard interception by Jace Dooley, pardon me. That puts the Tanners of Peabody up 35-7 at the half, and that's your halftime recap.
Great job, Kate, as always, on what has been a fascinating first half of action here. And before we have to jump back to second half action, I want to give you, to make sure you've got time, get all those scores in from around the region.
Alrighty, we're on our way then. Let me get the right thing in my hand. All right, so some updates coming in right now, actually, from Twitter via Chris Kine. End of 3, Millbury on top of Sutton 36-0. We also have Algonquin right now, end of the third quarter. Shepherd Hill on top of Algonquin 22-9 is the score there. Hudson right now on top of Oakmont 14-7, end of 3. So most of the 7 o'clock starts are already finishing up the third quarter. Some other scores around the region at the half. Catholic Memorial was on top of St. John's 14-0. In that Millbury game, Gleason already with 5 touchdown rushes in that 36-0 route right now, Millbury over Sutton. And then we have Walpole, a final. Walpole victorious against Shrewsbury, 34-12 is the final there.
Wow.
We had a final coming out of the Thursday night game. Auburn beating Narragansett 48-21, the final there. Clinton on top of Littleton, 29-0 at the half. And that is your Around the Region for this Friday. Thus far, we'll have more scores as they come in.
Kate, did we have a posted kickoff time on Shrewsbury and Walpole?
6 a.m.
Yeah, oh, perfect.
6 p.m. 6 p.m.
6 a.m. would explain why they're done. 6 p.m., okay, makes sense. I'm like, only an hour and a half into the 7 o'clock window, and I'm like, they're done already? Meanwhile, it took an hour and a half to play the first half out in Peabody tonight. Fascinating differences, to say the least, thus far. Kate, before we let you go here at the half, let's talk about our impact play of the first half, and it's brought to you by our partners at WLPZ, 95.1 FM and WLPZ.org, where you can hear a replay of the complete broadcast from tonight tomorrow at noon. So, Kate, in your mind, who is the impact player of the first half?
Right now, I'm going to say that they have the that pick six, that interception return by Peabody. That right there is going to be my impact play and my impact player of the first half.
Jace Dooley with his second interception on the day. It was not a pick six as it came back on the flag, but other than that, every other bit of correction, Kate, that did stand. There was a flag. There were so many flags. I'm sorry, I lost track of where that ended
185 yards and penalties between both teams in the first half.
My God, that's an offense for some teams on some weeks.
Those were only the accepted ones.
Wow. I don't know where to go with that. Bill Thomas says his first half play or player of the first half, his impact play, it's got to be Lynch. There's no question in my mind. I'll agree. Shea Lynch, the senior, threw for 300 yards last week, has already created 250 yards of offense on his own tonight, all purpose. That's an incredible night thus far, and it's the first half of action. So Shea Lynch certainly gets the tip of my hat, to say the least. And if you're enjoying tonight's action, you can hear an encore presentation of every game broadcast in its entirety. Saturdays at noon, Leominster's owned and operated 95.1 FM WLPZ and WLPZ.org. Kate, as you look at those stats from around the region, I think the thing that stands out to me as far as the scores go, it's like Eastern Mass undefeated, and right now Central Mass trying to play catch-up.
Well, I mean, and when you think about it, when you have Central and Western Massachusetts, when the media and when coaches and teams complain about the fact that there's very little Central and Western Mass representation in the playoff prospect, sadly, if you take a look at the outcomes when Central and Western Mass play these Eastern Mass teams in the regular season, a lot of times the Eastern Mass teams are victorious. So the Eastern Mass contingent, they have a point when they're talking about the type of representation that should be in the playoff matchup. And more often than not right now, Central and Western Mass really struggling against these Eastern Mass teams during the regular season and beyond.
Indeed they are, and it's going to make a harder and harder case for how this is going to go forward. And remember, this whole new format and everything that we're doing to upset the apple cart that goes back to the original Super Bowl layouts in the early 1970s, remember, is to increase participation across the state in sports. Well, Eastern Mass is certainly going to see increased representation in Super Bowls. They're certainly going to see increased representation in Super Bowls 1 as well, as the case may be in the statewide playoffs. It's an interesting development over the last handful of years, and all we can do is continue to report and let the communities decide. Great night of high school football action on RFM audio and with our partners at Leominster TV, WLPZ 95.1 FM, and Tucka 56 Radio. Kate, thank you for a great halftime here, and we'll check in with you as the second half continues. Back inside our studios here at Leominster TV, and we welcome you once again at halftime. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas. You heard from Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ. And Bill Thomas, it's time now for our mid-game adjustments as the second half is on deck. Let's start talking about mid-game adjustments. You're in the middle of the game. You're Leominster. You've literally been, as I said, it's literally like being a part of a game that you're watching that's taking place on Saturday, but you're playing the game on Friday night. In the, kind of the illusion that I'm making here is that thus far, Peabody has looked like a small college football team right now.
Yeah, and Leominster's got to be having an out-of-body experience here, just basically haven't done to them what they've been doing to their 4 opponents up to this point in the season. But I think that the coaching staff's going to find a way to settle Leominster down, especially defensively. They got to find a way to play a little tighter defense. And if it means getting burned over the top, then I think that's what they got to do. They got to find a way to shut down that short passing game. I got to tell you, Shea Lynch has just found a way to be spectacular in all facets of the game, whether it's, the passing game, the rushing game, making the right decisions, whether the run or, tuck and run or call his own number. It's just, it's tough when a player is that multi-talented to game plan against what he might do. If he's just a pure passer, yeah, you pressure him and hopefully you can make a mistake. But somebody who scrambles that well, who has that much presence, controlling the game in general, and has that kind of arm that he can pick you apart, whether it's underneath or over the top. That's hard to defend, but you've had to have to look at him. You can make some in-game adjustments now in the locker room, but I really think it's got to start with the defense. You got to get up in those receivers' face, and they're going to beat you over the top. Let them beat you over the top. I think they've seen enough of them beating them underneath with yards after catch. You got to change things up a little bit and make PB change up what they're doing.
And you said it sometime during the first half. If there's one key thing that you can see when you are looking across the field at Leominster in their tactical alignment, it is a missing 0. As in Ricky Encarnacion, and we reported it off the top of the broadcast. We mentioned it in the first half. We will mention it again here before we start the second. Ricky Encarnacion out of tonight's football game. Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates providing the following pregame statement, quote, Ricky Encarnacion is not available tonight for reasons beyond his or our control. We support him, end quote. Again, that's head coach Devin Gates of Leominster on his star player and star person, Ricky Encarnacion. Quote, Ricky Encarnacion not available tonight for reasons beyond his or our control. We support him, end quotes. And Bill Thomas, we won't speculate further beyond that, but
we support him too.
We certainly do. It is a tough situation. Things happen in life. And there are a lot of learning that goes on when you're involved with interscholastic athletics. Lest we forget sometimes, certainly we don't forget, but maybe others outside of sports forget. This is school-based athletics. It's education-based athletics. And while a learning experience may be going on here tonight, it is certainly difficult for everyone involved that is learning tonight. No question about it.
In more ways than one. Aspects of life, aspects of sports. And just maturity, I think, overall. And I think the Blue Devils have an opportunity to bring a new level of maturity to the field, especially in the second half. It's not easy, and it looks like the second half is commenced.
And has about gotten underway.
It's not easy when you're playing that far behind, but here we go.
We'll rejoin Peabody TV, who is on the return. Peabody kicked off to begin the football game, so they will get the football to begin the second half. And with that return coming straight up the middle of the field, it's Pinto. And Pinto finds room across his own 40-45 and out to midfield at the 49-yard line. Get another look at that return here.
Looks like he took it in at about the 20. Nice run back there.
It is Colin Ridley, Bill Thomas, number 4, yes.
Yep. About a 30-yard return on that second half kickoff.
Indeed. So it's 1st and 10 for Peabody as we begin the third quarter. 8 seconds in, Peabody with a 35-7 halftime lead. Lynch in a shotgun set for receivers. Give it this time for Paulino. Shooting through the defense. It's Delmar Wright with the rapid tackle made back at the 45-yard line.
Good job right there, shedding the blocker. And Delmar Wright, if anybody's going to step up and lead the defense, I think Delmar's got to be the guy to do it. And I think a lot of that has to start with the line of scrimmage. Lynch has had way too much time back there to survey down the field. So, the defensive linemen got to be a little more aggressive right here, be a little more after it and kind of get Lynch out of his comfort zone, get him off his spot. But, it's not just what Lynch is doing. It's the time he's had, and the Leominster defense got to get in there.
Right to left continue the Tanners here in the third quarter. On 2nd down and 14, Lynch is hurried. He tries to step up in the pocket. Defense is there again. It's a sack, and Bill Thomas, I think Delmar Wright got a piece of him again.
It was actually a Scobie, I think, in there that got him by the shoe tops as he was starting to break up out of that pocket. 56 hopped up out of there. But once again, one of those linemen. It's got to be 52, 55, or 56, Todd. That's really where they're going to start. We'll see if we can't get a look at it right here.
Delmar Wright, Gio Roman, and
right
John
there.
Ascabi.
Yeah, I think you're right, Todd. I think it was Delmar Wright from his weak side right there, coming in late, getting low. But just those front three really got to step it up right here and get Lynch off out of his comfort zone.
No gain on the play officially. 3rd and 14, ball at the Tanner 44-yard line. Lynch back to pass out of a shotgun over the middle, reaching and knocking it away. It's Braden Martin playing in the linebacker core.
Nice job right there. A little bit of pressure on Lynch. Give him a little tougher look. He doesn't have such a clear path downfield. Threw that ball a little bit high. That's what Leominster's got to do. Looks like they're forced a 3-and-out right here to start the second half.
First time tonight.
You took the words right out of my
Tanners
head.
have failed to score
on
with possession of the football.
Or a turnover. They have one turnover.
They did have the one turnover with the interception. You are correct.
Yep. But you're right. First time the punt team's been on the field.
Indeed.
And it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to punt here, so we'll have to pay attention to the action.
Yeah, at their own 44-yard line.
Definitely taking their time here.
They're wearing the home color rush navy blue tops and bottoms, Columbia blue numerals front and back, Peabody across the chest. The Peabody helmet is white with a navy blue face mask and a steerhead on either side. It's a high snap. It pushes Scalise back. He handles the punting. He's able to field it and get the punt off downfield. This kid's got a great leg. Hops at the 25-yard line and takes a Tanner bounce across the Leominster 20, the 15, and checks up at the 11-yard line. What a punt for Dominic Scalise.
I'm trying to, that line of scrimmage was back around the 40. Plus he's back another 15. He got close to 50 net yards out of that. Yeah, that kid's got a future in the game if he wants it.
Indeed he does. Leominster football, 1st and 10. They're on 11-yard line going left to right. Leominster wearing the road, white tops, white bottoms, trimmed in royal blue at the pant legs and shoulders. Royal blue numerals front and back, and at the shoulders, the classic Leominster white helmet, white face mask, single royal blue stripe up the middle, and a whistle kills the play.
We got a little.
I don't know if it was the reset of the play clock. There's a lot of pointing happening. And now, on the change of possession, the clock stopped. 10:04 to play here in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10, Leominster, their own 11-yard line, middle of the field, going left to right. Trip set up, left of the formation, shotgun snap for Lopez. Give it to Braden Martin. He gets low, through the line, crosses the 11. Forward he goes toward the 15 before being stopped up there.
Rough going there right up the middle. Picked up about 3 or 4 yards. I'm going to point something out pre-snap, Todd, once they get in their lineup here. But look at number 26 in the middle. He's actually playing a nose tackle spot.
He is.
I don't think I've ever seen a smaller nose tackle in the middle of a defensive front than him. But I tell you, Tanners do a good job of mixing and matching and getting the pressure on.
That's Will Pinto. We'll get back to that in a second, Bill Thomas. I caught that on video as well. Lopez back to pass on 2nd and 5. He rolls out to the right. He tucks, and he will take it in the boundary, cross the 15, out of bounds at the 17. Gains maybe 1 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4 to go. When I was looking at the video back at the game last week against Marblehead for Peabody, Jose Lendor, the senior 5'10", 165, was playing that nose tackle position. You're seeing Will Pinto there, the senior running back, and he runs probably in that same neighborhood somewhere right around upper 5-foot range, in that $160 sort of range.
He's not your prototypical nose tackle for sure, Todd. And he's flanked by 2 players at 250 or greater. So just an odd look, but great speed, good defense. Nonetheless.
3rd down, Lopez rolls out, throws up the left sideline. It is reeled in by Brian Aguilar across midfield and out of bounds at the Tanner 45-yard line.
Brian's got a cramp, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's grabbing on to that right calf. But it appears, although I have not seen the officials rule a catch, it appears it is a completed pass. Lopez rolled his pocket as we get a second look at it here on Peabody TV and just floated it up that right sideline and reeled in by Aguilar with a nice toe drag. Gains 40 on the play. And Aguilar, a little hitch in his giddy up, the quite dictionary definition. He gets a little slap from Jared Viola, but he is able to jog off on his own power. That's the good news. It's a Leominster 1st and 10 at the Tanner 46-yard line.
The other good news is that he held on to the ball after the catch, flipped the field around, put the Blue Devils in good shape here.
And started deep in Leominster's own end, their own 11-yard line.
Exactly right, Todd. They've moved to the other side of the 50 at the Tanners 46. Good time to build a little momentum here. Start getting some scores of your own.
1st and 10 at the Tanner 46 at right hash. Shotgun set, 3 receivers in the formation. Hard bark, and Lopez is back to pass. 2 guys in pursuit. He will throw toward the boundary. Out of bounds, incomplete, and a veteran move there by Lopez, recognizing he was getting pushed hard with the blitz in front of him, and he wasn't going to have time to evaluate downfield, get it past the line of scrimmage, and make it incomplete.
Yeah, good job right there, not to take a sack and run out of bounds, but those are the things that he has to learn, you know. A freshman, a lot going on, and you know, his first year at this level, and he's learning on the fly for the most part. But good decision making right there.
Walking to the line, here comes Lopez. Trading hand signals with Coach Devin Gates on the sideline. Staggered trips line up wide left of the formation. Viola's one-on-one into the boundary right. Here's the snap, Lopez. He rolls toward Viola. He is pursued and caught for a sack in the backfield. Donald Kavanaugh, the linebacker, chased down Lopez and took him down behind the line for the sack.
Yeah, no blocking out there. Roll to the weak side. Maybe 3 Blue Devils out on that side of the line of scrimmage, but a host of Tanners, and yeah, he's tracked down from the backside and then cleaned up from the front.
3rd down and 15 with the ball back across midfield at the Blue Devil 49-yard line at right hash. 8:38 and counting to play here in the 3rd quarter. Peabody 35 and Leominster 7 in the Battle of the Unbeatens on this Friday night, October the 7th. Week 5 action here on RFM Audio and Leominster TV. Back to pass, it's Lopez on 3rd down. Plants, looks, throws, in and out of the hands of Juan Miranda. Incomplete, say the Tanners.
Good job over there on defense by Jace Jean-Pierre, knocking the ball free as Blue Devil player tried to corral that going over the sideline. Trying to see who the intended receiver was. Was that Aguilar out there?
Juan Miranda.
Juan Miranda.
He had his hands on it, just couldn't reel it in. Clock stopped on the incompletion, 8:19 to play in the 3rd quarter. 4th down and 15, Leominster at their own 49. They need to advance the football to the 36 of the Tanners. In punt formation, Delmar Wright. Low snap, 3 guys there. He got the punt away, and I'll never know how, nor could we see, but it will be returned. Great return coming up here for Batista, as Batista angles his way out to the right, finds his way at the right sideline. I don't see a white jersey there. Delmar Wright is the punter. He's the safety valve. The block is there, and it is a return for 6 more. The officials, though, do not signal touchdown. They are signaling stop the clock. For the moment, it is an apparent Eli Batista punt return for 6. Tanners with hands on head.
Something happened upfield, but we're not sure what yet, Todd. But the Tanner players are walking back upfield, and they look very dejected.
Practice my lip reading once again. Still 4th down, the official said. Did not give a hand signal to go with that. So I have to presume perhaps it was a running into the kicker-ish foul there, because didn't see what happened to Delmar Wright other than he got back into the play and scrambled to try to make a play on Batista as they show you a negated punt return.
Yeah, Wright, the only one back there, so never made it downfield, Todd.
There's a block in the back, by the way, on
right
Delmar Wright.
Delmar,
Ridley
yeah,
was
the
downfield. The
Looks
official
like the
immediately
officials
came up and stopped the clock, did not signal touchdown.
All right, they've moved beyond that. And,
so it was actually a personal foul for
this changes
roughing
everything.
the kicker. Brings up 4th down and a yard after the enforcement. It moves the football to the 46-yard line of Peabody. They're showing 4th and 1, but it is 4th and 10.
I think they have it. I was going to say they have it spotted wrong, but no, it was a 5. It was 4th and 16, right?
Yeah, so 5 yards. So it had to be running into the kicker.
Yeah, trying to just work through.
Leominster will go for it on 4th and 10. Lopez rolls, middle of the field, wide open is Drinkwater, and is too low and incomplete. So a turnover on downs and the ball back to Peabody. The good news is the 6 points come down off the board with the running into the kicker foul. So it is a turnover back to Peabody, 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line.
Things got a little confusing there, Todd, trying to work our way through a series of signals and miscues. But the points come off the board. Apparently it was, like you said, running into the kicker. Not an automatic first down, just a 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage.
Correct.
So it didn't really change the situation much, except gave Blue Devils a little closer shot, 5 yards less at first down, but to no avail.
2 hours away, hard to tell everything that went on that play. 3:52 to play here in the third quarter. Lynch is back to pass as Peabody goes right to left, out of the gun. Slant coming from the slot right. Catch made by Colin Ridley. Out across midfield, 45 and down at the Leominster 44-yard line. Gains 10. Great quick pitch catch. Lynch finds Ridley.
Once again, working that underneath. Letting the zone drop back. Not even really time for the Blue Devils defense to react right there, but that
what a great play.
Slant guy from the edge.
Ridley listed at 5'6", 145. First and 10 from the Leominster 44. Back to pass, Lynch out of the gun. Goes into the boundary. He finds Batista with the catch. Avoids one defender. Amara Singa will make the tackle across the 25 and down at the Leominster 23-yard line with a Tanner first down, and the drive continues.
Trying to see the Blue Devil on defense there. Looked like he went for the pick and just that back shoulder throw. Tried to couldn't get there in time.
Amara Singa did a good job scrambling back into the play to make the tackle.
Might have saved the touchdown.
On first and 10, here comes the slant again. It's Ridley again who makes the catch from the right across the 15 and down at the 14-yard line.
See if they move the sticks. Trying to get a yardage count here. I think that was good for at least
showing second down and 2.
About 9, yep.
Ball at the Leominster 14-yard line at right hash. Right to left continues
just
the Peabody drive.
Chewing up that defense with that short pass game.
Empty backfield, 5 receivers in the formation. Lynch calmly sits back in the rocking chair, throws, cross the 5, pass is caught. It's Batista again, down at the 4-yard line with a Peabody first down and goal to go at the Leominster 5.
Pickup of about 8 right there again, but I tell you, Blue Devils got to get sick of seeing that play. That little slant, good for anywhere from 8 to 15 yards right there. Just move the chains down the field all night.
5 receiver empty set again for Lynch. 6:08 and counting to play here in the third. Lynch the snap, rolls toward the boundary right, stops at the hashes, looks downfield. It is intercepted. Josh Cormier, the linebacker for Leominster, with the interception. The Blue Devils second on the day, and Leominster takes over. First and 10 at the 8-yard line.
Nice job right there, staying in that lane over there in that sideline. Lynch running out of room. Decides he's going to try to force something in right there at the pylon. See if it even makes it into the end zone.
It got stopped in
right
the second level there. And a great job by Cormier to hold on to that football, Bill Thomas, as it went down toward his shoe tops.
Yeah, right there at the goal line, and turns it around, gets it off the goal line, brings it out about 6 or 8 yards. Nice job right there. Stop that scoring drive.
5:59 and counting to play here in the third quarter. Leominster chasing a 35-7 Peabody lead. Give it to Braden Martin on first down out of the gun. Cross the 5, battles his way across the 10 and down around the 12-yard line.
Nice job by Braden. Tell you, he's averaging 6.5 coming into the game, and right around there tonight. But when you're chasing 3 or 4 scores, you can't concentrate on the running game. Still got to mix it in, but doing a good job. But they need to really find some chunk yardage.
5:35 and counting to play here in the third. Braden Martin taking over the top running back spot. He started tonight. Mackay Newton did play. I've got a rough estimate of about 3 plays. I'll check with Kate after this play. Here's Martin on the carry again. Up the numbers on the left. 15, 20, and down at the 21-yard line. It's a Leominster first and 10 for Braden Martin. And Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ. Braden Martin having a good night tonight in place of Mackay Newton. He's a bright spot. Newton had about 3 plays in the first half, if I'm correct.
Braden Martin right now, 9 carries for 45 yards. And as you said, Mackay Newton, 3 touches for 8 yards for Leominster's rushing attack.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. First and 10, Leominster, 21-yard line, their own left hash, coming left to right. Xavier Cora gets the hands off, and he's grabbed by Jose Lendor with one hand and spun down to the ground, crossing the 20 at the 22-yard line, gains 1.5. Call it second down and 8.
Yeah, big handful of jersey. There's no more after that. Nice job by Lendor to hold on.
Lopez comes to the line, signaling toward Drinkwater, who's one-on-one in coverage at the boundary left. Shotgun snap. Lopez back to pass, looks underneath, got Drinkwater this time, stutter step, moves the football forward to the 30-yard line. It will gain about 9, 3rd down and a yard.
Good job right there by Lopez, getting the ball out quick. The rush is coming, and Blue Devils linemen having trouble slowing down the Tanners on Russian defenders, and it's been harassed all night. Not a good look.
3rd and a yard. They need their own 31. Snapping from the 30. Lopez, play action fake, roll left, launch, left numbers, down, hand fighting, and catch made by Caden Drinkwater across the 30 and down at the Tanner 27-yard line. Hand checking all the way down the field, Bill Thomas, and somehow Drinkwater sheds the defender enough to create the space and make the catch.
And I don't know how he does it time and time again, those 50-50 balls. You know, I heard Coach Gates talking about how he battles for those 50-50 balls, and you know, even through his coaching career, he gets those 50 position on those 50-50s as good as anybody.
They show the slow motion replay there, and both players were all up in each other's grill on that one.
Good job, officials, just letting them play that out, and nice job by Drinkwater to come down with that number of big plays he's made this season, and he gets those 50-50s.
1st and 10, Leominster at the 10 or 29. The give this time looked like Cora. Cora took it off the left, raced across the 25 and down at the 24-yard line. 3:02 and counting here in the 3rd.
Give him about 3 right there. Actually 4. Bring up 2nd and I got 7, but we'll give him an extra yard out of that. And they changed it 2nd and 6.
Yeah, 2nd and 6. Ball at the 24-yard line at left dash. I never doubted you, Bill Thomas. Shotgun set, 3 receivers in the formation, 2 tight to the boundary left. Cora with Lopez in the backfield. Lopez asks for the ball. Looks short on the double move. Now he steps up. He's riffing. He's looking downfield toward the goal line. Deflected pass! In and out of the hands of Steve Diaz in the end zone. It was Dooley looking for his 3rd interception on the day, got his fingertips on the football, but Diaz was wide open when the deflection came to him, and he just went, oh, as the ball hit the turf.
He was, and I just think the trajectory got changed. Get a good look at it here. Yep, just tipped just enough to get your eyes out of position. Nice job, right, Dooley. What a play by Dooley. Saved the touchdown right there.
Clock stopped on the incompletion. 2:31 left here in the 3rd. Leominster chasing a 35-7 Peabody lead. On 3rd down and 6, Lopez, the shotgun snap, steps to his left, looks, goal line for Drinkwater. Drinkwater covered tight by Paulino downfield, and Paulino maybe had a little stiff arm on him, but Drinkwater wanted a flag, and I think with the amount of contact that's been going downfield, that was rather tame.
Yeah, Drinkwater trying to get position there from outside to inside, but no way was Paulino letting him by him there and held him behind him, and Drinkwater thinks he's getting interfered with, but I just think he was just out of position right there. He couldn't get the inside move.
Brings up a 4th
He's
down and 6 to go.
Goes over the official with open arms. That's not going to do him any good.
4th down and 6 from the Tanner 24-yard line. 4 receivers evenly split, a pair on either side of this shotgun set. The snap for Lopez. Cora provides the block. The throw underneath. Pass is caught by Steve Diaz. Rolled across the 15-yard line and out of bounds. It should be enough, and it is a Leominster 1st down.
Yeah, nice job. That's probably one of the best plays they've run all night. Nice controlled pass right there. Knew exactly what they needed. Nice solid pickup, about 10 yards. They needed 6.
Diaz, that little under route, kind of goes underneath the defender, sits down, gets it in stride.
They've watched that all night from the other side of the ball. You got to learn.
And now it appears Peabody is going to stop the clock, spending a timeout. 2:01 to play here in the 3rd quarter with a 35-7 lead.
Nice job right here. Peabody get a chance to regroup on defense. You know, don't want to give up back-to-back scores here.
Great to have you along with us tonight, wherever you are. All across the region or around the globe, streaming via YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch, with our television partners at Leominster TV on Comcast or Verizon Cable or Leominster.tv. We thank the folks at Peabody TV for the courtesy of their video feed tonight. Also, with our radio partners live or in delay at 95.1 FM, WLPZ FM, or Tucka56radio.com. We're so pleased to combine and support the student athletes and institutions as the legendary soundtrack of football in Central Mass continues right here on RFM Audio. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ. Bradley Bedard pushing the buttons at Master Control here at Leominster TV and making the magic happen for you here tonight. Great to have you along with us. First down and 10, Leominster. At the Tanner 15-yard line, the drive continues. Out of the Tanner timeout. Back to pass. Lopez looks middle of the field. It's Drinkwater, and it's 6 points.
Nice job right there. Nobody in the middle. Lopez and Drinkwater recognize that. Work that slant to perfection.
1:55 to play in the third quarter, and it's 35-13 Peabody, pending the point after.
I'd like to think of it as 13-0, Todd.
That's a good way of looking at it, Bill Thomas.
13-0 since halftime.
I was going to say it was 35 unanswered points. Leominster then scored 7 on the 2-minute drill before halftime for a 35-7 halftime score, and now Leominster with 7 points in the second half, 6 pending the 7th.
14 unanswered. I'm giving
14
them the
unanswered points. Bill Thomas is already putting it on the board.
In the bank.
Aguilar, tough snap. He got it down. Thompson to the bar. And Bill Thompson may have hexed that one. But back upfield come the teams. 1:55 to play here in the third quarter. It's 35-13 Peabody's advantage.
Good look at the replay here. This is a good-looking play.
Indeed it is. Lopez with time in the pocket, throws, and there comes that little slant coming from his left to right to the middle of the field. And Drinkwater makes the catch, and in he goes to the end zone.
Little playground game right there, I think, between Lopez and Drinkwater, recognizing the defense. I wouldn't be surprised if, that was a lot of that based on eye contact and a little nod and not seeing anybody in the middle and run to the space.
You know what's been my favorite part tonight thus far, Bill Thomas? Thus, the fact that Leominster gave up 35 unanswered points. Never once have they stopped battling tonight.
No, I tell you, and the game has not gotten chippy. I thought maybe the second half would get a little out of control. The second quarter went downhill a little bit. I thought the officials did a good job reeling the players in, but we've seen a great third quarter here.
Thompson on the approach, swings the right leg, tries the onside kick. Leominster blows up the front line. Diaz is there. Blue Devils fall on it. Did it go the mandatory 10 yards? We have not yet seen the official signal.
Well, if Atana touched it, it didn't have to go 10.
Correct.
So it can go either way here, but they haven't signaled.
Leominster football is the signal.
There we go.
An onside kick by Dan Thompson. The recovery for Steve Diaz. And it is Leominster football. They needed a 2-for-1, and they've got a shot at it. 1:52 to play here in the third quarter.
Get a good look at this here and see
comes
if
the
it touched
replay.
the Tanner.
From the 40, crosses the 50.
Oh,
Indeed
yeah.
it did.
Live
and a great
ball.
job there. Dominic Swain blows up the front line and then allows the ball to roll back as it checks up in the Leominster direction, and Steve Diaz ends up on top of it. Leominster back on the field offensively. Lopez back to pass. Looks for Martin out of the backfield. Incomplete. And it'll bring up second down and 10.
Yeah, great design there on that onside kick, though. But you're right. Swain come in there and just picked out whoever was close to the ball, blew him up from it. Might have knocked the ball free at that point. But nice job by the rest of the special teams for Leominster to get on that ball. Created extra possession right here.
Little different of application, but back in the day they called that the flying wedge, Bill Thomas. And boy, did it fly and did it wedge the ball loose. Second down and 10. Ball located at the 48-yard line of Leominster at left hash as they continue from left to right. The rollout for Lopez. Lopez needs a block. Now he tries to change direction, and he is sacked in the backfield. Tony Kendall was there with him, but couldn't slow down. 3 Tanners that were there.
Yeah, lack of experience right there. Lopez got to learn. Once you get outside the tackles, you can't take the ball to the ground with you. Right there, he's got to make a decision. He's outside the hash mark. Let it fly out of bounds. But once again, he'll learn. It's part of the growing pains.
Indeed it is. So a loss on the play takes the ball back across midfield, back across the Leominster 45 and down at the Leominster 43-yard line. Listed as third down and 15, 1:09 to play here in the third quarter. Shotgun set, 4 receivers in the formation, an even pair on either side with Martin with Lopez. The shotgun snap. Lopez gets the block. Drifts to his left, throws back middle of the field, wide open Steve Diaz underneath, but he couldn't bring it in, incomplete.
Yeah, I was going to end up about 5 yards short of the first down mark. A gain 2 would have brought up fourth and about 6, but have to see what the Blue Devils here. I think they might play some field position and put the game back in the hands of their defense.
35-13, Peabody on top of Leominster. Leominster with the onside kick recovery, and they've got a 4th and 15. Ball at their own 43 at right hash, and Coach Devin Gates says it's now or never. Check it. The swinging door lines up in front of the formation. It is a punt formation. Delmar Wright stands back to punt off camera. Good snap to Wright, standing in his own 30. Puts the side of the foot in it. It spins. Hits right around the Tanner 37 and out of bounds at the Tanner 29-yard line.
Good job to get that. I tell you, he's been under pressure every time he's been back there to punt. Good job getting that off.
Go back to Kate Robbins at RFM HQ. Kate, we had the Leominster scoring drive and the quick onside kick. We didn't get the stats on that Leominster scoring drive for their second touchdown of the day.
Oh, all right. We can take care of that for you then. Let's take a look at that. 9 plays covering 93 yards. They started on their own 7-yard line. It took them 4 minutes to get the job done. It ends with a 15-yard touchdown reception by the freshman, Caden Drinkwater. But Billy jinxed it. Extra point, no good. Leominster's got 13 now on the board.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. 46 seconds left in the third. He did produce an onside kick, though. We'll give that to Bill Thomas as well. Pinto will get the handoff, take it out to the right of the formation, takes a collision with Diaz, crossing the 40 at the 45. He's still on his feet as the whistle has not blown. He's across midfield, across the 45 and down at the Leominster 44-yard line. What a run for Will Pinto, who wouldn't be denied.
I tell you, talk about motor legs. Churning and churning.
Great iso cam work here with Pinto, bouncing it to the outside and just taking a collision with Diaz, still on his feet, turns back to the sideline, still on his feet some more, and he never stopped his forward momentum. That is playing to the whistle, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, and ended up with about a 20-yard gain when it was all said and done. What second effort, third effort right there to produce that run.
And the Tanners, with the veteran move, let the clock run out. Third quarter expires out in Peabody tonight at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Peabody, through 3 quarters, a 35-13 advantage. Teams change ends, the all-important 4th and final quarter when we continue as we welcome you back inside the studio of Leominster TV here in Leominster. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins is back at RFM HQ, and we'll take this opportunity to thank our partners at Leominster TV under the great executive direction of Carl Pamarini. And you've got the great staff here, Alan Redstone, along with Jack Selly and Keith DePerry, Robert Pepler, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And then Bradley Bedard here anchoring tonight in master control to make sure we could get on the air and be here inside the studio to bring you this coverage, both on Leominster TV as well as on RFM audio streaming here tonight. And I'll tell you, Bill Thomas, things were looking bleak early in the week. Things look bleaker by midweek and late week. And Leominster TV and then our friends at Peabody TV now helped us out with some video as well and bring this one on the air to the community tonight.
Yeah, even though we didn't get full cooperation that we expect week in and week out, the 2 cable access television stations were able to get together, give us the feed, and be gracious enough to let us put our voices on top of their feed. So, yeah, it's all good. We really appreciate what Peabody TV's helped us out to do tonight.
Teams change ends to begin the 4th quarter. Left to right go the Tanners. The handoff is for Pinto with some room up the hash. Straight he goes, crossing what appeared to be the 35-yard line and down there at the Leominster 35.
Solid pickup of about 20 right there, Todd. And looks like the Tanners are content to keep the ball on the ground right here.
Indeed they will, and I mean, hey, the clock is their friend. The faster that they can get that to triple zeros here in the 4th, the faster they can chalk up their 5th win on the season and perhaps secure themselves, Bill Thomas, first place in Division 2.
Yeah, PowerPoints all around, but and I think they've loosened up the secondary a little bit for the Blue Devils, which makes the rushing attack all that more effective. 1st and
10 at the 25 as we get the wide angle look. Whistles and flags kill the play, and it's a procedure call signaled against Peabody. 11:23 to play in the 4th quarter, a 35-13 Peabody advantage. Take this opportunity. Bradley Bedard can kind of give you a look over our shoulder here. And he'll cue that up so you can see Bill Thomas and I in studio and what we are looking at as we look out at Veterans Memorial Field by monitor, or a window onto the world, as I say in class, Bill Thomas, when I talk about the world of TV as well. We'll get a chance to take a look at that at some point here as we continue counting down toward the 11:05 mark and counting here in the fourth quarter. Shotgun snap. Give it for Lynch. Lynch with the handoff for Pinto. Pinto carries the ball up the hashes, still on his feet, crossing the 10-yard line and down around the 5. Will Pinto. It's been all Pinto on this drive.
Yeah, and finally, I'm trying to see who gets off the bottom of the pile. Looks like 11, Steven Diaz finally gives him a suplex there at the end to get him off his feet, but no denying Pinto right there. And I tell you, what a machine he's been here in this fourth quarter.
And how about Keegan Amarasinga? Knowing how badly Leominster needs a turnover, he didn't necessarily try to make the tackle on Pinto. He went to the ball and tried to wrap his hands and strip the ball out.
Fortunately, that tends to cost you more yardage. You know, if you're not successful, all of a sudden there goes the player and the ball.
10:20 to play here in the fourth quarter.
First guy wrap him up, second guy take the ball out.
Shotgun set for Lynch. Kind of steps up into a pistol as he gets in front of Pinto there. Now Pinto gets the handoff, looking for the payoff here. Cross the 10 and battles down to the Leominster 5.
Once again, Diaz down around his ankles, but a lot of help too. But Pinto just muscling his way for extra yards.
Jared Viola getting admonished by the official on the Peabody sideline at the conclusion of that play. And Viola, Bill Thomas, from what we could see, didn't appear to be anywhere near that tackle.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but the officials, should officiate. Let the players play and let the coaches coach.
Down to the 9:35 mark and counting here in the fourth quarter, 35-13. Peabody driving to try to put the dagger in Leominster tonight. 2nd and a yard. Shotgun snap. Give it for Pinto. Immediately stepped in the bear trap. No, it was a fake. Bounce it outside. Pass is complete. Caught by Barrett. Barrett into the end zone. And it is a Peabody touchdown as we get a look at a capacity crowd and a capacity press box at Peabody as well.
I was waiting for that one. I was waiting for that, Todd.
41-13. Peabody on top of Leominster. 9:20 to play in the fourth.
It's very well lit.
It is beautiful. Bradley able to get a look at it on his side. He believes it was a fumble and a recovery for a touchdown for Barrett. Thank you, Bradley. Maybe got a better look at that than I certainly did. Lynch holds for Scalise, who just authoritatively drives another one into the night.
Wow.
Back up the field come the teams. 9:20 to play in the fourth quarter. Peabody 42 and Leominster 13.
So let's see if we can't get a better look at it right now. It's being booted up by PTV. See where the ball went.
So the handoff did go to Pinto, so my initial call was correct.
Oh, right there.
The strip for
44
Cormier
like.
makes the nice play for Leominster, and then it went off the screen, what we were looking at, and then, of course, now you can see he kind of got wrapped up in the sideline. But it fumbled forward, and Danny Barrett
so
made
at
the
the high
catch.
school level, you can recover in a forward fumble for an advance?
He didn't. Well, that's a great question, Bill Thomas.
The point of the
recovery?
I know it's a pro rule. It goes back to the 70s. Kenny Stabler, Fumblerooski.
Hang on. Let's go back to our let's go to our official on standby, Kate Robbins. Kate,
can you advance a fumble
What's going on,
forward?
guys?
Kate, you're the only person
forward?
You're the only person I could refer to.
That's fine. That sounds good to me.
Somebody get somebody on the phone. That's the question.
Phone a friend. I'll take a look. I'm reviewing it right now. I've got the instant replay queued up on the DVR. Taking a look. We got the snap. We got the ball. Yeah, 26 fumbles it, and it is a fumble forward into the end zone. Barrett with it in the end zone for 6 points.
Thank you, Kate. Somebody get Frankie Cray on the phone. Let's get an answer. Thank you so much. As the kickoff goes left to right downfield across the 15, checks up around the Leominster 13. It is returned by Brian Aguilar. He takes it back across the 15 and down around the Leominster 17-yard line. 9:14 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we'll have to get a clarification on that. If you can advance a fumble forward offensively?
That's a great question.
If you recover it, does it go back to the spot of the fumble?
I got to tell you, especially with the injection of the Federation rules, I'm a little unclear on that one. I would need to refer to, a crew chief like a Bob Bonsi or a Bill Goslin, all of which are on the field somewhere in Central Mass tonight,
Anybody
probably officiating a game.
Feel free to tweet us.
I was going to say, tweet us, text us, retired officials, anybody out there? 1st and 10 for Leominster. Ball located at their own 23-yard line at right hash. Shotgun snap. Give it inside for Braden Martin. Martin stood up on the play, across the 20 to the 21. And Bill Thomas, you want to know where we'll get the answer? The answer will come on this week's Coach's Corner, where you can get the breakdown and preview of each week's action on RFM's Coach's Corner with Leominster head coach Devin Gates. New episodes premiere Mondays at 9 p.m. on these same RFM platforms, including YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on Tucka 56 Radio and Tucka56Radio.com. And 5 p.m. on Thursdays on 95.1 FM, WLPZ, and WLPZ.org. 2nd and 7, and Lopez is back to pass. Looks out to the left and throws, looking for a streaking Drinkwater. And there is O'Hara there to break up the play, incomplete. Bill Thomas throws the flag from long distance, but I got to tell you, Bill Thomas, O'Hara seemed like he got there at the right time when the ball was descending over Drinkwater and got his hand in there to make the play.
Looked like he grabbed his arm to me. Drinkwater came up looking for the official, but kept it in his pocket.
Now the official who was on the Peabody sideline comes running down to his crew chief. His flag is still on his belt, it appears.
Drinkwater's having a conversation with him, though. He's not happy.
And here comes the enforcement.
What do we
Dead
got?
ball. Sideline infraction. The second sideline infraction against Peabody tonight will lead to an enforced penalty. Move the ball across the Leominster 30 to 35 and place down at the 36-yard line. So the pass interference didn't come, but the sideline did, and Coach Gates, standing over on the sideline as conductor, says the train moves this way down the track.
The official must get sick of running into people when he's running down that sideline, and PB's got to pay attention to that. Where's John when you need him? The get-back coach.
Shotgun set, trips to the left of the formation as Leominster's drive continues from right to left. Back to pass, it's Lopez. Rolls out, crosses 30, launches down the numbers, right, jump ball, interception.
It's like number 8, Todd.
It is. Abu Kaba, the junior, gets underneath Brian Aguilar, the intended receiver, and Kaba says, thank you very much. Interception. And if Leominster's chances of a comeback tonight were looking slim, Kaba just put the kibosh on that opportunity.
I was wondering if that was coming. But once again, Lopez not setting his feet there, Todd, and I'm sure that's something the coaches are going to work on in practice, and just coming up short. And defender gets inside position, nothing the Blue Devil receiver can do at that point. You become a defender.
That's right.
Nice job by the Peabody cornerback out there. On the defense, turned it into offense, pulls it in, turnover. But I think, we've seen Lopez do that a number of times, Todd. Rolling out's fine, running from pressure's fine, but at some point you got to stop and get that quick set and not lob those high arching passes downfield. It just gives the defense too much time to correct. It's like we're looking at the quarterback here, Todd.
Yeah, I believe we do have a quarterback change. That does not look like Lynch.
15, am I 17 maybe?
15 is Joey Smith, a sophomore quarterback.
15.
So Joey Smith, the sophomore, takes over at the quarterback spot with a 42-13 Peabody advantage here in the fourth quarter. If you're sitting there wondering what is the threshold, it's 30 points in the fourth quarter, and Leominster has got one more than that. So 29 right now, the differential.
And, we talk about running clock, but if the Tanners keep the ball on the ground, we're going to see running clock for the most part while they have the ball. Maybe a stoppage here and there for a first down, but I think we're going to see the clock running for most of this fourth quarter nonetheless, Todd.
Bill Thomas, be still your beating heart. We've got a score from around the region. Mike LeClaire out at the Bernardian Bowl tonight. We'll get you the score coming up after this play. 7:38 and counting to play here in the fourth. Smith snap, handoff went to the back with him, and a skidding play made there. Alex Silva on the carry. Final score from the Bernardian Bowl tonight, 40-7. St. Bernard's downs the Warriors of Nipmuc.
I knew they were going to have a tough road to hoe tonight, but tell you, Tom Bingham always gets those Bernardians to play, and they love
Jones,
playing
I
in
believe,
their
still there
friendly
as a running back,
confines.
Bill Thomas,
She's got
into
somebody
his
still.
senior year.
He might have run out of Binghams, but I'm sure he's got somebody.
Indeed, indeed.
Nice job right there on the defensive play by Xavier Cora, leading to a 4-yard loss on that run and play. Clock continued to tick, under 7 minutes.
3rd down and 14 to go. Smith in a shotgun set. He's got Silva in the backfield with him. 4 receivers spread out in the formation. The hard count from Smith, and we got a jump at the line.
Looked like the defense, the offensive tackle over there, 67.
Who was the center earlier, Costa Dindima.
Dindima moving around a little bit, giving somebody else a chance to play the center position.
He also does play some tackles, so there's got to be some rotation going on there. So a 5-yard penalty, and by Kate's total, that is 145 yards of penalties. Kate, am I reading that right?
You are reading that correctly, sir, yes. And I do have a response from one of our officials in Central Mass who does mostly Saturday games now. They do believe you can fumble forward into the end zone for a touchdown. They do believe.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the help.
Indeed.
We knew somebody was out there.
We appreciate it. The handoff went to Silva. Silva to the hole. Tripped up across the 10-yard line down around the 11. It'll be 4th down and long coming up here for the Tanners.
Keeping the ball on the ground, the clock moving.
Stay with us. Coming up after this one, hey, we're just getting started. We may be back in Leominster, but you've got to drive home from Peabody. That means you've got a post-game on the go, and we have got your post-game for you back here in Central Mass. Kate will recap all the stats in this one, and the numbers are incredible. We will also have the final scores from all around the region tonight. Trust me, we might have some West Coast scores with how late we're going on this one here tonight. So we'll have that action coming up for you post-game. Plus, we'll award our game balls for player of the game and a whole lot more here from the studios of Leominster TV tonight. And our partners at Leominster TV, they're going to stick and stay with us as we are in their home base tonight. And we appreciate Bradley hanging with us a little bit late tonight as we'll wrap up the postgame here inside the studio and get us on the way into a weekend here. Week 6 action is on the horizon as there is no rush for the Tanners to punt here. Week 6 action, Leominster and Algonquin, an important Central Mass battle at Doyle Field on Friday night, October the 14th. We'll have that action for you here. Punt out of the end zone from Scalise. Crossed the 30 and checks up at the 35. Didn't quite get all of that one.
A little bit of a rush right there, and but still gets it out of danger. Gets the Leominster offense back on the field.
And I didn't get a good look at the punter there, Bill Thomas. I'm wondering
I think
if
it was Scalise 21.
Was it Scalise?
Yep.
I was wondering if Coach Betancourt decided to let a punter of the future punt.
Different center, though, I believe. It was a high snap, so things were off a little bit, but he still did a good job getting it off.
Get this, Bill Thomas. Scalise, a junior kicker punter, 6'1", 185. He's got another year, another offseason of development and growth, and another football season to come. Look for him on Saturdays.
He's got a leg and maybe even beyond.
So after the punt, Leominster gets the short field, 1st and 10 at the Tanner 35. Middle of the field going right to left. Shotgun set, Lopez there in the backfield. Give this time was for Aramis Reyes. Reyes into the teeth of the defense, crossed the 35 to the 34, gains 1, 2nd down and 9.
Players getting a little different look.
And now a flag gets
says something.
Dropped in at the end of this one. Perhaps unsportsmanlike conduct or unnecessary celebration might be the call here. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, signaled against Peabody. Add 15 to the end of this Leominster play.
Time to clean that up.
March the ball across the Tanner 25 to the 20, and it'll be 1st and 10 Leominster after the enforcement at the 20-yard line, middle of the field, going right to left and knocking on the door of adding a score in this one. So, Bill Thomas, you look at what's ahead for Leominster in this one. Algonquin at home next week, Wachusett at home the week after in week 7, and then on the road in week 8 at Shrewsbury. And so while this may look bad at 42-13, all in all, and God, please somebody get me a paper bag when I say this one, this may be a quality loss for Leominster as they put the points in the opponent column and then move on back to Central Mass where there are good quality opposition here. And so I guess what I'm setting up here is although the score looks quite lopsided, the opponent points may favor them with this loss, and they may end up basically situation neutral at the end of this one.
Who knows? They might even climb in the power rankings depending on what the other teams around them have done. But, yeah, I mean, it's, you put this one in the bank quickly, and the memory bank, don't let this one fester too long is what I would say.
Yeah,
just move
discard
on.
it.
It's still only one loss, whether it's 1 point or 50 points.
You don't have to worry about going east of 495 until you get into weeks 9 or 10.
And the road trips from here on out will be short and sweet.
Indeed.
Do we have any more road trips?
Yes, at Shrewsbury.
At Shrewsbury, right.
Where we will be on the plaza. Join us for that.
Weather permitting.
It'll be like at Rockefeller Center, Bill Thomas. 3:08 and counting in the fourth. Bill Thomas used to be our plaza guy. Lopez avoids a couple of defenders. Now he tucks, crosses the 10, the 5, reaches for the pylon, and he is in for the Blue Devil touchdown.
Nice job by Cyrus.
2:57 to play in the fourth quarter.
He looks used up, too.
Indeed he does.
He's had a tough game, probably. Definitely his hottest game as a varsity player.
And Lopez.
Flag on the play.
Hands on head.
We got a hold in the backfield somewhere.
And there comes the signal.
Come on, stay with it.
And there goes the signal.
Stay with it. You're going to get it? Nope.
They're going to replay third down, nonetheless.
Well, we know that.
It's holding. It's holding or a block in the back. Got a 50-50 shot. Your choice. Add 10 yards. Holding? All right, holding. Add 10 more yards to Leominster's total. Kate standing by.
On those sweeps, there's always some kind of hold,
Kate,
behind the play.
Total Leominster enforced penalties?
87 yards enforced against Leominster, and Peabody is up to 160.
Wow. It's incredible. Handoff is for Aramis Reyes. Escabi leading the way. Cross the 15.
Oh.
Tackle made, and there's a pylon. Comes at the end. Nice defensive play made by Tyson Higgins, the sophomore, for the Tanners. And Kate, I'll bring you back in. So total penalties enforced between both teams?
So now you're making me do addition on the fly. So that's 160 plus 87, 247 assessed yards. We know that at least 2 penalties were declined in the game.
And how many yards of offense did Peabody have in the game tonight?
How many yards of offense does Peabody have in the game? 402 total yards of offense for Peabody.
402 yards of total offense for Peabody. And meanwhile, a total of almost 300 yards of penalties enforced. Lopez rolls out to his left, looks into the end zone, catch is made. Jared Viola, it's a Leominster touchdown now.
Finally.
1:59 to play in the fourth. It's 42-19. Second time's the charm.
15,
point after pending.
15 yards there on that pitch and catch, but lazy looking pass, but somehow Viola was able to come down with it. Third score of the game for Leominster.
And moral victories is not the business that I know any football team is in, certainly any football coach and any of these players, Bill Thomas. But to me, the victory Leominster takes tonight as Aguilar puts the ball down and Thompson floats it through. 1:59 to play in the fourth. It's 42-20. Is the fact that Leominster has never stopped playing in this football game.
100% on point, Todd. No quit, no give up right there, and playing a strong second half, playing right to the final whistle. You can't expect anything more. Were they waving at us, Todd?
They must have been. They must have been. Good to see them all. What's next?
There was a lot of room in there, I noticed.
What's next for the Tanners? I'm not taking the bait, Bill Thomas. I am like.
Wait, let me run that back.
I am like the sea bass who sees the bait and just keeps swimming right on by. I've already been hooked twice into a boat earlier, as it was a nice play by Viola to win the competition in the end zone.
Out of the reach of Higgins. Nice job.
What's next for Peabody? Home against Winthrop next week. Go to a Week 7 action on the road at Gloucester, and then wrap up the year at home hosting the Witches of Salem, and of all weekends, on Halloween weekend, Bill Thomas, in week number 8. kick goes end over end. It is returned by the Tanners across the 30 and down at the 32-yard line. It was Colin Ridley. Gets the help up from Dominic Swain, who gives him a little tap on the helmet for the effort.
Good sportsmanship right there. Blue Devils done a good job maintaining their composure here in the second half and playing to the whistles and not letting the score get under their skin and changing what they want to do. You know, every play can be a learning process, every series, every quarter. So it's nice to see them maintain their composure here, continue coaching, continue playing, and winning the second half up to this point, 20-7.
Bradley, does that include Leominster TV, like out over the air, Comcast, Verizon? Everything cuts out of 10. Thank you. Well, for those of you that are joining us on Leominster TV, because I didn't get my mute switch correct into the off position, the broadcast, which is now at 9:38 on the East Coast here on Leominster TV, ends at 10 o'clock. So Leominster TV will begin with us at least at the beginning of the postgame. We'll do our level best to get us out as that kneel down comes from Smith. Might expedite the clock, if you will, here as Peabody looks to close out their 5th win of the season. Sorry, Bill Thomas, your mic's still in the wrong
That's
position.
why you can leave me muted. I don't have a lot to say, but I don't think we're going to see much more football, Todd, is what I was going to say.
I think you are right. It's a matter of a series of kneel downs at this point. Celebration ensues on the sideline. Will Pinto.
Yep, happy player right there.
Snap. The kneel down. Brings up a 3rd down. They will have to kneel one more time, because they'll put the ball down there. 40-second play clock doesn't get you out of the football game. So one more kneel coming, but other than that, it's academic. Tonight's broadcast of high school football and RFM audio will be rebroadcast via our partners at 95.1 FM, WLPZ FM. Set your dial to 95.1 FM for a weekly encore presentation of tonight's complete broadcast, beginning each Saturday at noon. And while you're there at 95.1 FM, enjoy the great information, education, and entertainment for members of the community by members of the community on Leominster's owned and operated 95.1 FM, WLPZ, and WLPZ.org. The final kneel down comes, 26 seconds to run out. The great staff at WLPZ FM are always looking for new volunteers to expand their program offerings. For information on how you can get involved, visit WLPZ.org. To the middle of the field they come. The officials have picked up the ball, and this one, Bill Thomas, is over.
Hard-fought game. Blue Devils come out in the short end, but I tell you, they played right to the final whistle, and I don't think the coaching staff could be any prouder. Yeah, they're not going to be happy about the score, but good showing all in all by the Blue Devils. Taking a tough trip out to Eastern Mass, but, you know, they'll bounce back next week. I'm sure the coaches will point out some areas of improvement, talk about where they were lacking, talk about what they did was good in the second half, and get ready for Algonquin.
Bill Thomas, I am remiss in having not written that down. 45-19, correct?
I believe that's what it was.
All right. Final score here. When you
no,
can't
Blue
see,
Devils had 20. They kicked the extra way. They had 20.
Kate Robbins standing by. Kate, 45-19, 45-20.
20. They missed one extra point. Kate.
What's going on, guys?
Hi there, Kate. Final score, 45-19 or 45-20. They dropped the scoreboard
20.
on us, and thank you very much.
He didn't trust me,
From
Kate.
2 hours away, it's hard to see the scoreboard. All right, with that, stand by, Kate. We'll be
look
with
at that
you
press box.
post-game next.
Look at all those windows.
42 to 20.
42 to 20. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the 45 from last week while I'm making notes.
I was going to count the windows, Todd, to make sure they
13 is the answer, in case you are wondering.
And they got great lighting.
Indeed they do. 42-20 final score as Peabody picks up their 5th win of the season, improve to 5-0, and they certainly have command of Division II in the statewide power rankings right now with a 5-0 record and a 42-20 win over Leominster tonight. We're going to step aside quickly here. We will be back. Post-game next. Kate Robbins is standing by with the complete stats around the region. Hey, it's almost 10 o'clock. We've got all the scores from around the region as well. That will come your way next as well, right here on RFM Audio, Leominster TV, and with our partners. We'll step aside just 30 seconds, and we're back with more. We thank you so very much for joining us here tonight. We also thank Peabody TV for their hospitality and their video courtesy tonight. Thank them so very much for their help with the coverage this evening. 42-20, Leominster is a loser tonight to Peabody. Peabody, the 42-20 win out in Peabody tonight. Break, and we're back with more. You stick and stay with us. Post-game next. This is high school football on RFM Audio.
I spent a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in 09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Back inside the studios of LTV, post-game here on RFM Audio and with our partners at Leominster TV. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins is back at RFM HQ. Bradley Bedard with us for Leominster TV here at the studios of Leominster TV. And we thank you so very much for sticking and staying with us throughout the night here tonight on RFM and Leominster TV, and in replay with our partners at WLPZ 95.1 FM and Tucka56 Radio. .com, TUCKA56radio.com. Back inside the studio, Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins coming up in a moment here. And I know Kate's sitting back going, I can get this post game done in time to get that close for Leominster TV's stream tonight. So, Kate, I'm going to do my level best. We've got 16 minutes. Let's kick it on back to you. Final stats in this one.
All right, I certainly can get it done in that amount of time. So here we go. Everybody strap in and get ready. We're going to take a look at team totals first. Leominster, 390 yards of total offense, 289 of them coming courtesy of their aerial attack, 101 rushing yards and 65 plays on offense, 4 turnovers, however, on the night for the Blue Devils. We take a look at Peabody's side of the ball, 402 yards of total offense, 262 coming courtesy of their pass, 140 coming courtesy of their running game, 48 plays on offense, 2 turnovers for the Tanners on the night in their win over Lemon. Take a look at other notable team statistics. 87 assessed penalty yards against Leominster to Peabody's 160 assessed penalty yards. So that's going to be my game ball going to the people in the zebra stripes. 247 total yards of assessed penalty yardage. So in my book, that's the game ball.
Anybody want to check Guinness to see if that's a record?
It might. It certainly might be.
Oh my.
We take a look at individual notable statistics for the Blue Devils. First, coming out of the backfield, Braden Martin, 10 carries, 49 yards. Xavier Cora, 3 rushes. Reyes, 3 rushes. Newton had 3 rushes as well. Osiris Lopez had 12 rushes for 36 yards, so it totaled 101 yards of rushing offense. Now in the aerial attack, Osiris Lopez was 15 of 29 for 289 total yards of passing offense to 6 different receivers. Brian Aguilar, 3 receptions, 68 yards. Jared Viola, 2 receptions. Caden Drinkwater, 5 receptions, 134 yards. Braden Martin had a reception. Juan Miranda had 2 receptions. Steven Diaz had a reception as well. Unfortunately, it was all for naught as Leominster only able to score on 3 occasions on the evening. In the second quarter, you had the 5-yard touchdown rush by Osiris Lopez. In the third quarter, you had a 15-yard touchdown reception by Caden Drinkwater. And in the fourth quarter, a 15-yard touchdown reception by Jared Viola. But again, when the defense allows 42 points to the other team, those 20 points, unfortunately, all for naught. Let's take a look at individual statistics for Peabody on the evening. First, from their rushing attack, Alan Paulino, 4 rushes, 29 yards. Will Pinto, 7 rushes, 74 yards. Out of the quarterback spot, Shea Lynch, 7 rushes for 42 of Peabody's 140 total yards of rushing offense. Out of the quarterback spot, Lynch on the evening, 17 of 23 passing. That's 74% completion rate for 262 total yards of passing offense to 4 separate receivers. Jace Dooley, 2 receptions for 40 yards. Danny Barrett had a reception. Colin Ridley, 8 receptions for 106 yards. Eli Batista, 6 receptions for 111 yards of the 262 total yards of receiving. If we take a look at the touchdowns on the night, they had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, a 15-yard touchdown rush by Shea Lynch and a 50-yard touchdown reception by Eli Batista. In the second quarter, they had a trio of touchdowns in that second quarter. 3-yard touchdown rush by Alan Paulino, a 10-yard touchdown rush by Shea Lynch, and the 65-yard interception pick six by Jace Dooley to cap off their scoring drives in the first half. Only 1 touchdown for Peabody in the second half. It came in the fourth quarter with 9:20 remaining. It was a 5-yard touchdown fumble recovery by Danny Barrett. 42-20, your final Peabody over Leominster. Would you guys like to talk about it, or am I going right into the Around the Region?
We're going to talk about it, Kate. Thank you so much.
Boo.
Boo, boo, boo. It's time now to award our game balls. Let's acknowledge those.
I've already done that.
The standout performances as Kate, Bill, and I award our game balls to the student-athlete performances that change the fortunes for their respective teams. And keep that point in mind. Change the fortunes for their respective teams, at least in some capacity. We'll get to that in a moment. Kate, we took a little vote around here. The low-hanging fruit goes to Bill Thomas tonight. Bill Thomas, who would you like to award your game ball to?
Well, I don't think there's any dispute that Shea Lynch was involved in pretty much everything the PBD Tanners were doing. Kate's stats tell me he had over 300 all-purpose yards between rushing and passing, and a couple of touchdown passes. He was just a field general tonight, and he gets my game ball, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no question. He certainly had a phenomenal night tonight. Kate, go ahead, award your game ball.
She did.
I'll abstain.
No, she did. The officials.
This is true.
Zebras.
This is true. This is very, very true. Like I said, 287 penalized yards. It's certainly a record. And it definitely changed the fortunes for all respective teams included.
And to add just a comment about penalty yards, when a team gives up 160 yards in penalties, you would think they're on the losing end of the score.
Yeah.
But
Peabody persevered,
still found
giving
a way
up 162 penalized yards.
Yeah, and still found a way to score 42.
It's a staggering number.
It
So
is.
I'm going to award my game ball tonight. I'm going to divide it up as I tend to, since the reason I tend to go last here. And I'm going to award it to a play that I just thought was well executed, and it's the onside kick for Leominster to try the 2-for-1. It didn't end up working in the long run, but hey, credit Dan Thompson for the onside kick initiating the play. Credit Dominic Swain for blowing up the front line of the Tanners, and then credit Steve Diaz for getting on top of the football. 3 guys combined there. There were others, obviously, that had to create the blocks as well, but those 3, you got to acknowledge the performance on that play. So my game balls to Dan Thompson, Dominic Swain, as well as Steve Diaz for combining for that completed onside kick successfully for Leominster. That gave him a chance to battle back into the football game. It just didn't quite pan out.
And let's give an attaboy to the special teams coach that helped design that, because I'm sure that's something they've worked on. Probably never works in practice, but you can draw it up. You just hope that, when you need it, it does work in game situation, and it did.
Hunter Pawpaw, Leominster's special teams coach, with that one. Those are our game balls awarded to the players of the game tonight. Kate, we're going to kick it back to you. Post-game scores from all across the region. And, Kate, I'm not being necessarily facetious when I say you want to check the Arizona scoreboard. There's some finals out there on the West Coast tonight as well.
I know we can watch the Pac-12 and probably get some halftime scores. This one went so long. We've got yawning going on over here with the grandparents. It's been a long night. All right, let's take a look at that final whip around the region for Friday, October 7th. St. John's falls to Catholic Memorial 41-6, the final. Catholic Memorial over St. John's. Monty Tech a victor tonight out in Fitchburg, 24-14 over Blue Hills. the final there. I know Mike LeClaire let us know St. Bernard's a victor over the Nipmuc Warriors, 40-7, the final there. Out at Millbury, Chris Kine was giving updates. It was a final score, Millbury over Sutton, a battle of the undefeated 4-0 teams. Millbury a victor, 36-0 is the final. And the running back Gleason had 5 touchdown rushes in the game. He had 4 of them in the first half alone. Grafton a victor over Doherty out at Foley Stadium tonight, 47-7, the final there. Shepherd Hill squeaks out a victory over Algonquin. Shepherd Hill 22-9, the final over Algonquin. Shrewsbury falls to Walpole tonight, 34-12 your final. That one was done about 4 hours ago when the sun was still out. Wachusett a victor over Salem, New Hampshire tonight, 41-13. Tucker McDonald 250 yards passing in that particular game. Fitchburg falls to Marlborough 28-0, the final there. Neshoba a victor tonight over Westboro, 42-7. Maynard beats up on Groton Dunstable tonight, 48-0. North Middlesex beats up on Drake tonight, 47-0. Clinton a victor tonight over Littleton, 43-7, the final in that one. Hudson a victor over Oakmont, 27-7, the final there. The Narragansett Auburn game was moved from Friday to Thursday night. Auburn a victor, 48-21, the final there. Games going on tomorrow. We know that the Air Shirley game was moved to, I believe you said Sunday, Bill Thomas, or Saturday?
Saturday at 5 p.m.
Saturday at 5 p.m. because of the tragedy that happened with regard to the Air Shirley students last evening.
And
other games
Kate,
on the
before you go on, I mean, we'll take our opportunity there to extend our condolences to the entire Air Shirley community. It is certainly a tragedy in that regard, and of course, I mean, for Kate and I who work in public education and happen to work at the high school level, I know, Kate, this has happened to you before. I've been lucky enough not to have it happen to me, but there is nothing scarier when you work with teenagers age 14 to 18 than getting that phone call that tells you that one of your students won't be coming back. I just feel for the members of the Air Shirley community as they mourn this loss tonight.
Out on Twitter tonight, the athletic director, Steve Kendall, has been thanking people for all of the support that the Air Shirley community has been getting. So that very tight-knit, very small communities of Air and Shirley coming together in the wake of that tragedy from yesterday evening. And so that game postponed until tomorrow at 5 p.m. Other games on the Saturday slate, a noontime kickoff tomorrow, Bay Path and Blackstone Valley Tech. St. Paul, Blackstone, Millville, Hopedale, also a noontime kickoff tomorrow. Worcester North and Burncoat, they both have their home game at Foley Stadium tomorrow against one another, a noontime kick there. West Boylston and Tingsboro, a 6 p.m. kick tomorrow. Leicester and Uxbridge, a 1 p.m. start. East Bridgewater and Northbridge, a 3 p.m. start tomorrow. And then the Sunday slate, Worcester Tech, 1-3 Worcester Tech taking on the 2-2 Assabet Valley Aztecs, a 4 p.m. kick at Polar Park. That one was moved, I believe, either Wednesday or Thursday. So that a last-minute move for Assabet and Worcester Tech. That'll be nice. I know last year when the football coach for Worcester Tech was being slated for his week 9 or 10 game, he wanted to make sure he was in a big venue. That was when Worcester Tech was 7-1 last year and unable to make it into the playoffs. He wanted a big venue and was incredibly excited about being able to play at Doyle Field. This will be even more exciting for Worcester Tech to be able to play at Polar Park this weekend against my Assabet Valley Aztecs.
Yeah, Coach Derek Robbins there, and no relation. But I will also add, Kate, if that decision had been made far earlier, we were keeping an eye on Polar Park as we had a blast down there last year doing the doubleheader that followed the Holy Cross game on Saturday. They had a high school doubleheader. We had a blast going down there. RFM had the exclusive play-by-play, and we were certainly looking forward to it. But when decisions get made mid to late part of the week, unfortunately not able to make that work out on this weekend.
I just heard about that yesterday, and I was kind of surprised at such a short notice of making that announcement. But hey, it is what it is.
Good for both schools. It'll be a great day for them as well. Kate, as always, great job. Time for the 3 Bs for Little P. That's book, bottle, and bedtime.
We're on it.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. And so the question becomes, what's next? Well, RFM and our partners, we've got your listening and viewing options covered. Encore presentations of tonight's broadcast will be available all weekend long, starting over the air Saturday at noon with our partners at WLPZ 95.1 FM, streaming free via live365.com. Search WLPZ LP 95.1. Then Sunday's Encore, also at noontime, streaming via Tucka 56 Radio and Tucka56radio.com on Live365. Search Tucka, Tucka 56 Radio for that Sunday noontime Encore. Leominster TV's got your game replays throughout the weekend and on into next week. And then you go to the new week. Week 6 action begins with Coach's Corner with Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates. An all-new episode Monday on these same RFM platforms of YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on Tucka 56 Radio. And Thursdays at 5 p.m. on 95.1 FM WLPZ and WLPZ.org. Next broadcast for those of us joining you here on RFM Audio, Leominster TV, and with our partners is next Friday, October the 14th, 7 p.m. the kickoff time, 6 o'clock our countdown to kickoff. We're told this is really homecoming at Doyle Field on that one, so you can tune in for that one as Algonquin travels to Leominster. The Titans sorely looking for a victory in that one, reeling off of 3 straight losses going back to their loss to Catholic Memorial. It's Leominster and Algonquin, 7 o'clock the kickoff, 6 o'clock our countdown to kickoff on these same RFM platforms, 6:30 on Leominster TV for the countdown to kickoff next Friday, October the 14th. Final score tonight, Leominster falls to Peabody, 42-20. Peabody improves their record to 5-0, and Leominster falls to 4-1. So much more to come in the weeks ahead, but for everybody here at RFM Audio, at Bill Thomas, at RFM Audio and Leominster TV, for Bradley Bedard, Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ, Bill Thomas, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for joining us tonight for this action. 42-20, Peabody tops Leominster. Until next Friday night, we say so long, everybody.
Tradition, legacy, history. These words all describe a player, coach, or contributor's impact on a game, program, or generation. Each week this season, student athletes of this generation will square off with the goal of best representing their community today or for years to come.
Neil O'Connor finds Jake Elaine.
Alan Glennie quarterbacks his ball club.
Delakiai's in the end zone.
And calling signals, Dave Palazzi.
John Ulecki.
Warren Muir.
LeQueer.
Jack Rodequins.
Bobby Mativier.
Jason Toomley.
Devin Gates.
Quentin Tiggs.
Cortez Ludden.
Lee Geronimo.
Stephanides.
Sean Dupuis.
McDonald.
Graham.
Quentin Perkins. Geraldo Rivera.
Gray makes the catch in the end zone for the touchdown.
Who will have their name weaved among the tapestry of legends? Who can add their name among the football greatest in Central Massachusetts? You'll find out right here on RFM, continuing a legacy and tradition of audio excellence established by generations of great play-by-play teams gone before.
Yours truly, Tom Connery, Dave Spence, and Warren Muir.
This is Joe White. With me this morning for the Stickity and Ron Lamont.
Ed Coleman along with Joe DeCarolis and Mark Landon.
This is Dave Clark along with Mike Flynn.
I'm Dave Spence along with my partner Luke Connery.
Todd Robbins alongside Ben Parker.
Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us.
Stories told through the words spun by legends. The stories continue to be described by the award-winning team of today. It's time for high school football with the award-winning team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins.